be just absolutely pumped.
Yeah, it was a big effort by everyone to come back after winning it last year and get back-to-back premierships, and just a great feeling.
Twice you have held the Holy Grail up. How do you feel, son?
Yeah, it was just fantastic yesterday. A lot of people doubted us, and even at the start of the finals, a lot of people wouldn't have thought we would have got as far as we did, but the guys just hang in there every week, and yeah, we come up trumps yesterday, and it was bordering on being better than last year. I think it was just a great effort.
Personally yourself, when in the match after half-time did you think you had it? There must be a moment
as soon as we kicked the first goal after half-time, I thought we had them.
Fantastic. Nigel Spud, everyone. What a fantastic game.
How was your preparation through the week? Because you didn't know you were in. When did you know you were in, and how excited were you?
Early Thursday morning I knew I was in, and yeah, I was pretty excited.
Playing in the midfield, I thought you turned it around. I mean, you started at half-forward, then went into the midfield. I think that's where you like playing your footy, isn't it?
I just like playing with a fantastic team over here.
Spot on. Andrew McLeod,
well done, Andy.
Good Norm Smith medalist.
You're super cool, you're just a kid. I mean, your temperament. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, I think I've just been lucky, I think. Just in the right place at the right time, and lucky enough to have the group of players around me to help me out.
No, I think it's more than that. I think you're a fierce competitor and you show it.
You know, a lot of blokes stood up and the younger blokes stood up again. It was a great effort.
6 goals last year, 5 goals this year.
It's just a lazy day.
Seven Sports production. Imagine your
night on our road.
This is National 9 News with Georgina Thomas.
Good evening. Well, the day after the Crows again thumbed their noses at the football world, their delirious fans have given their heroes a rapturous welcome home. Today's celebration centred on the Wayville Showgrounds. For the players, though, the party began in Melbourne.
They were the weary pride of South Australia.
We're crossing the border now. We've got the cup in tow.
Captain Mark Bickley's camera capturing the smiling shut-eye as the Premiership Crows prepared for another of those victorious homecomings they're getting used to. Perhaps the fans are used to it as well, with only a small legion of supporters at the airport saving themselves for later in the day. The plane got that customary water cannon salute, but some of the players saw it through exhausted eyes. It had been a big night after all. But was this as good as last year?
Completely different, I think. I mean, they're both very special, but to do it back-to-back is a magnificent effort.
And how about a rookie who wasn't even on the Crows list till mid-year?
I've been floating all week, so that's why it's going to take a while to sink in.
Nothing could match the winning siren yesterday, but it was still pretty special when the team was introduced to a 50,000-strong gathering at the Wayville Showgrounds today. One by one, they came forward to thunderous applause with a special round for the guiding light, Malcolm Blight.
Oh, he certainly can pick up probably a few intricacies that perhaps others wouldn't. But it was. I mean, the guys did a fantastic job. It was an unbelievable day.
And who could forget dual Norm Smith medalist Andrew McLeod?
I just like playing with a fantastic team over here.
Spot on. Andrew McLeod.
And yes, it is especially sweet to beat the Victorians.
I probably didn't count on the fighting spirit that we had, and the few positional changes that we did make all work. So,
They do hate us winning, don't they?
I don't know about that, but they can think what they like. As long as we keep winning, that's all that matters. Mighty, mighty Crows! Mighty, mighty Crows! 2 in a row! 2 in a row! That's all there is.
Yeah, tops. It couldn't be any better.
What about last year? You're a part of this, but not a full part now.
Yeah, no, got what we wanted.
This party will only get bigger with the Crows joining the state's other championship teams in a huge motorcade on Tuesday. Matthew Smith, National 9 News.
For many, of course, this was just the day after the night before, and what a night it was. Thousands of people swarmed into the city, determined to party like never before. It was Andrew McLeod who anointed the true believers at last night's players' presentation. Euphoric fans all but raising the roof. Closer to home, Rundle Street took on a carnival atmosphere as thousands flooded into the city. From the final siren, the pubs became magnets. By 6:30 last night, it was obvious police would have to close both Rundle and Hindley Streets, revellers making the most of the extra space. Fans were happy to crow over the defeated. The constant refrain at the Crows shed echoing through the streets. Crows enemy number one, Sam Newman, was busy claiming credit for the victory of the team he's often ridiculed.
I was a lone voice, a lone pillar, a beacon over here amongst the enemy, and I feel very proud of myself. Don't worry about the team, it was me.
There was even a very public reconciliation with coach Malcolm Blight.
We do congratulate you sincerely, and I said you're the new benchmarking coaches.
This morning, street sweepers worked overtime to restore order, and sports stores did a brisk trade as the faithful jostled to snap up their own piece of football history. Of course, football and beer are inseparable, and it was certainly flowing freely last night, with pubs draining up to 40 kegs apiece, rivaling even New Year's Eve and Grand Prix records. Kate Griffith, National 9 News. Meanwhile, police are calling for calm on our...
2 people were injured. Police are now calling for calm as the celebrations continue during the week, and as Crows fans return from Melbourne, they warn all available speed and breath testing units will be out in force. Nick Cahoon, National 9 News.
But while we continue to celebrate the Crows' victory...
Coaches and support staff sharing a quiet drink and a meal as the post-mortems continued. Not that it was all doom and gloom. A hero's welcome from several hundred North Melbourne faithful providing a timely morale boost. But all the autographs in the world couldn't erase the pain of finishing second.
Somebody let me see footage of it and really sink in. But I know it's a film that I don't want to ever happen again.
Despite yesterday's disappointment, the Roos have promised to bounce back next year, bigger and better than ever.
That was the message delivered to thousands of fans when the players returned to club headquarters for last night's grand final wake.
Stay on board for 99 because after the disappointing day we had today, I can assure you that we'll be doing everything possible to make sure we go one step further in 99.
A theme continued by Dennis Pagan during a players' dinner at Melbourne Park, the coach preempting a tough summer at Arden Street.
I don't want us to be seen as someone who runs second, and we're going to push that message to our players. We have to get better as a group. We have to get better full stop as a club, and I mean everybody involved in it.
Judging by the faces, it seems the battle to make amends has already begun. But with the start of the new season 6 months away, the Roos will have to bide their time. Matt Dowling, National 9 News.
We almost feel sorry for them, don't we? Almost. But what a week we have in front of us with the Crows Parade on Tuesday and the Victory Parade for our Commonwealth Games athletes on Thursday. Time now for a break and then the latest from the election campaign trail, and we will observe the wheels of change as the annual Bay to Birdwood rolls back the years.
Shudo out injured last year, inseparable last night. Onto the team bus and onto the post-match function. A dinner for 2,000 at the Melbourne Casino where the celebration slipped into full swing. After a boisterous night, the players somehow made their flight for the triumphant return home.
Congratulations. You are officially a freak, and if you win next year, it's a miracle. Thanks, Bruce. I still think we've got some improvement in us, and I just know we have. You know, we've got some kids that are still learning footy.
As a kid, played in the country and always dreamed of coming to Adelaide to play football, and made my way down and sort of made a bit of a fist of it, and to actually get to the top level and just to be a part of a premiership side is a privilege, but to be able to to be a part of 2 in a row is something special.
Stunning scenes at the showgrounds this afternoon as the state worships the players and Blythe the Messiah.
And of course, the Premiership Cup.
Paul Dowling, 7 Nightly News.
And it was a big day at Wavell. Let's hear from the Crows Premiership heroes.
I think I was in shock for the first 30 seconds. Last year was just so much euphoria around the place. This year, when the siren blew, I actually had to pinch myself, and I couldn't actually believe it.
Last night, did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, had a couple of quiet ones.
Do you want to show everyone your eyes? No.
I guess for the boys are telling behind me the week before was a fluke, so we'll listen to the experts. But it was it was just a normal week for myself. Tried to just concentrate on.
Ended up on the bench?
Yeah, look, I thought my first quarter was fantastic. But look, as you've got to do these things, you've got to come off to give some of the other blokes a go. So, you know, I did the team thing there.
How did you go into a grand final and you're playing on a champion?
I did my homework, I suppose, during the week, and I watched the videos of the last 2 games we played against him, and I really had to improve in some areas. So I just decided to play from behind, and Malcolm just gave me a few words of advice, and I just stuck to the game plan, and it was helped out by the other defenders.
When I did go down, it did hurt, and I was a little bit dazed and confused, probably, to kick that ball out on the boundary line, and my brother marked out in the crowd, which was one good thing.
When in the match after half-time did you think you had it? There must be a moment
as soon as we kicked the first goal after half-time, I thought we had them.
And we caught up for a chat with Norm Smith medalist Andrew McLeod.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Norm Smith medalist is Andrew McLeod of Adelaide.
I suppose, you know, one thing's in for a fair while, but I just probably put a little bit more expectations on myself. I mean, it's well and good to win a Norm Smith medal and stuff, but I mean the ultimate in our sport is, you know, is a premiership medal.
Across to McLeod. McLeod gets inside the perfect jump, and again he's on fire. No one over the top. Here's McLeod.
Once I kicked that point, my legs sort of snapped out a bit too much across my body, and it's just a real sharp pain, and for about 5-10 minutes I was just in a lot of agony and couldn't really get going, but once the pain settled down, I was all right. When I got drafted to Adelaide, I was probably used more as a half forward sort of type player, and I was probably a little bit spasmodic, and I mean half forward, as we know, is football's graveyard really. But I mean, I just had Malcolm gave me the opportunity to play in the back line and on the ball, and you know, I suppose I'm a lot fitter and probably a lot smarter than I have been, and probably lucky that I'm playing in a pretty good side.
Locally, the Port Magpies are through to the grand final after beating West Adelaide. And if they get up next week, they'll become only the second team ever to win the flag in the elimination final.
If you are going to tag Robin, therefore you're not going to be offensive or try and do anything that's positive for yourself. Because really, when he's got the opportunity, that hasn't been his style of play to be a goal kicker or someone who they can play through.
You're right, KB, and outside that, there's no one else there to mark the ball, except Heatley, who's playing deep in the forward line.
Well, he's going to do it every single time, isn't he? So Tim's got to do something about that, you would think. Got to put someone else down there with him if they want to play him on Robin, you would think. Close to the line, Davis, over the top of it, had to get it out. Ren, and it's out of bounds.
I just reckon, KB and Hutto, I reckon you'd ruck Tim Elliott. Okay, he started the game poorly down their forward line. Let him ruck and put Pete Everett down to centre half forward, inside 50 where, and he does mark it, he'll kick goals for you.
Well, surely Sirakoski could ruck. I mean, he's a recognised ruckman. Delaney through the middle. There's still nobody there, and he kicks it out wide. This is Ryan, and that's a little bad luck for him there, really. The ball bouncing a bit cruelly, and he was outnumbered again, though. Good persistence, though. Did Adelaide get away? Smart. Taking the kick. And through he goes. He's just about within range. Poor kick. Backing back Hudson underneath it. Perry from the side. Well done, Wakeland. Stood the ground, floated the handball, and they get away. Quick kick out of trouble by Knowles. Got it onto the wing. It's not a good kick. Stenglein kept his footing. McLeod going back before they went forward. A tough one, a really tough one on the wing. Edwards handling it well, though. Kicks it up to half forward. Goodwin advancing down the ground and looking and looking and looking and finding Big Sean Wren. And he's within scoring range. And this would really sting for the Saints.
Adelaide are just so cleaner when they get the ball. Their disposal by foot or by hand has been the difference between the two sides. You've seen young Brett Knowles come out of the back line after a great handball by Darryl Wakeland, turn the footy over. So costly.
Well, Wren, as we said, will definitely make the distance. His accuracy is not bad, but not good enough. Just a behind.
Height there. Tim Elliott actually had that really good purple patch. That was a poor kick, but he's got into the back. When Peter Everett was self-imposed 4-week penalty, played some great games for St Kilda. He seems to me to be a person who just needs a bit of confidence and to be given his head. And maybe today he might be able to take that challenge. Wakeland on the edge of the centre square to Delaney. No distance covered from the centre square. Peter Everett on a long lead, chipping in his Benke. Showed a bit of courage, back, take a bow. Burke, he'll be exhausted by the end of the first quarter. Rocking the ball out wide. That was Davis. Back to, oh, there's a shove in the back as well.
Good vision by young Davis there to find Peter Everett. Could have certainly been a young player. May have banged the ball long into their forward line, but the fine spider, so the move could be already paying off for Timmy Watson.
So Peter Everett has kicked 31 goals for the season. If he fires, it will be a magnificent day for the Saints. He's hit the post on the siren. So luck not going with the Saints. At quarter time, the Crows 3-4-22. St Kilda 1-2-8. And had a bit of trouble across the half forward line, just really trying to work out who they wanted to play at centre half forward. It does appear that Tim Elliott might line up there in the second quarter. So at quarter time, as the St Kilda players come together, just the 2 points for the season. Robin also very good in that first quarter.
Yes, it's been an interesting quarter to say the least, but Adelaide in front, and we'll be back for the second quarter in just a moment. The Crows have taken the advantage by 14 points, 3-4 to 1-2, and Jarman, Robber and Vardy Heatley for the Saints, despite the fact that the Saints had plenty of the footy.
Yeah, they certainly did, Hud. I no doubt about that.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2.
He's making his way down to Aussie now. As we said, they lead by 14 points. Over to you, Aussie.
Well, Darryl, a 14-point lead. Obviously, the Crows will be pretty happy with the way things are going so far.
Look, we had a fair bit of the ball then, Richard. We didn't quite use it as well as we'd like to across half forward. The defence was good, but at least we were at the ball and giving our forwards a chance. So if we can just tidy up our kick, we'd be a lot happier.
We saw Sean Wren go down. It looked like a bit of a head clash. Everything okay there?
Yeah, I think it was just that big nose getting in the way.
Thanks, mate. Good man.
Oh, good to see a bit of humour at quarter time. And David Parkin, always known for telling a few gags while he's coaching. Here he is watching with Cole Kinnear. We saw him at the MCG, and John Worsfold up the top there as well. We saw him at the MCG last night. I think they play the Saints in round 10, so they're planning ahead.
We think that's Dennis Pagan there, up there somewhere.
Tim Harrington up there too, KB.
Tim Harrington there in the shadows. Very difficult for our cameraman here because you're going from the sunlight into the shadows. Really, this stadium has been designed to have the roof closed.
Well, 3-4 to 1-2. Everett starting in the ruck. And Knowles starting at centre half forward for the Saints. Everett the tap. Bickley just pushing forward. Hudson running back and just saves it. And he's got someone running across half-back to feed it out to its Pickett. As you can see, now Pickett can pick it up, looking. Not much on offer. Elliott's down there. He might end up going along to Heatley. Does do that. Heatley in front and almost got it. Not quite. Hayes trying to get involved. Elliott, this is. Pushing and shoving smart over the top of it. And a bounce 40 out from St Kilda goal.
Well, we can see Ryan on the interchange bench there, along with David Sierakowski and Freddie Campbell. And Jason Daniels with the headset on.
bring him out every time, another.
Well, he was a great stalwart for the St Kilda Football Club and a couple of seasons in Sydney as well.
Robin and Elliott it was with that wrestling match. Elliott going in again and Moyle. McLeod, beautifully tackled by Davis. Although he kept the tackle going long after the ball had been dislodged. And finally it's over the line.
Been a pretty even contest there between McLeod and young Lenny Hayes. Hayes has had 7 touches in the first quarter. McLeod had 10, so fairly even.
Elliott and Robin. Oh, beautifully rowed by Knowles. Bouncing kick. It is on target. Then it bounces through.
Aye, we were off for a wee break with the wains, and the collar was like a cow.
8 points. 14 plays 22. Everett still in the ruck. Trying to force the ball forward was Biglands. Nearly reached 50. Stewie Lowe got a bad bounce. Thompson all tied up that time by Stingland. And he's been pinged for holding the ball.
What's your thoughts on that, KB? I don't think he had a lot of time to get rid of that one, Andrew Thompson, then.
Well, we're just seeing here when he's actually been caught. Now, I just wonder whether he threw that ball out to Stewie Lowe.
He has to be making an attempt to get rid of it, doesn't he? Or if the umpire thinks he's had prime opportunity, he has to actually hand the ball.
But if you got your arms wrapped around you and you can't handle
no hope,
it, you can't dispose of it. But there was a little give. I just wonder whether he just threw it out. Stingland from right on 50. This will go right to the line off hands and through for a behind.
I just reckon you'll have the opportunity to get rid of the football. I don't think he had much time once he got possession of the football and the tackle was late.
And we've had a power blackout here at Colonial Stadium. One of the main scoreboards not operating, so they're using radio phones down there on the bench. You see the Crows bench. So you've got to bring everything you can these days in the kit bag as Peckett pumps the ball wide. Spider's going to be the target. What a grab! Biglands just in his 4th game. That'll bring a smile to the coach's face. Thumps the ball back. Welsh got it. Well, he's booted 18 goals in the season. Last year he kicked 24 goals in 22 games, so he's well ahead of that average. He's been a major pickup, the Kangaroos premiership player. What a grab by Rhett Biglands. Just set himself. He's an impressive size, Doug.
He certainly is, KB. And about 10 teammates ran over and said, well done, good mark by you, young fella.
Couldn't get a game with Port Adelaide. Picked up by the Crows. Scotty Welsh directly in front. 25 metres out. Kicks a goal.
On Today Tonight, diet pills.
I was surprised how easy it was.
Second quarter, and Adelaide leading now by 15. As we said, Everett against Biglands in the ruck. And then nothing doing after that.
Nigel Smart now has gone on to Lenny Hayes, and McLeod's picking up Chad Davis.
Hudson doing a good job on Jarman so far, just the one kick, but that was a goal. Biglands knocked it out. Everett going the wrong way, using Lowe. He was hurried off his left. It's not a bad kick in the end. Placed well for Knowles, who's started promisingly since being moved up forward. Heatley, Davis, McLeod goes in. Rashudo, well wrapped up. Knowles, clever, created something for Davis, who caps it off beautifully. Well, he looks like a footballer, doesn't he, Doug?
Yeah, he certainly does. I've been very impressed with Chad Davis over these last 4 or 5 weeks. And the son of Alan Davis was a very good player too. Played for St Kilda, I think went across to Essendon and may have had a bit of a stint at North Melbourne. I'm not quite sure on that one, but good running by Chad Davis. Very good hands there by Brett Moyle to get that ball across there to Chad Davis, who finished off with a terrific goal. The goal they wanted, the Saints.
Davis on screen. His 6th goal for the season. He's playing his 7th game, so he's a goal kicker. Burke was great in that first quarter. Tried to be pulled off the ball. Biglands, an impressive young player. Look at Burke, magnificent tackle. Well, he is the spirit of St Kilda. And whilst they've got him out in the field of action, they're always a chance. Traianides pumps the ball long. Heatley couldn't take it on the second grab. Loose ball, chance for the Saints. Everett tried to squeeze it out. Davis, bottom of the pack, Smart over the top. Byrne, it's a wild handball to space, pounced on by Hudson. He's on 50. He'll share the ball around. Moyle Wants to stand and deliver. Great vision to Trianides. Now Trianides is 55 out. This is going to be close. It's got Carey touched on the line, kept alive. Goodwin across the face. Pumps it out wide. Tyson Edwards is quick. Does well. Made ground. Good touch. Marks in front of Thompson from the half-back line. The lead is on. He's looking for Welsh a long way up from the goal square. It's virtually at half-back. In an important pickup. Kicks back towards centre-half forward. Stewie Lowen-Wren over the top, the back. He had to sit all the way, was Wakeland. So now on the rebound, Carr. Can the Saints set it up? The mind ticks over. Kicks back towards half forward. Elliott takes the front position. Bassett was from behind. Tried to kept alive by Thompson inside 50. The Saints mounting an attack. They'll pile on top. They want a free kick. They'll get a ball up.
They've just started to lift their work rate the last 5 minutes of St Kilda side. Jason Heatley on 2 or 3 occasions likes to leave with the balls out in front, not where he's got to prop and be one-on-one where it's body on body. He prefers the ball out in front of him.
I agree with you about the Saints. I reckon they really have lifted the work rate. But whether they can turn that and convert is the next question. Zilla out wide. A high kick. Knowles has been good, been very good. And this time he misses. It's a behind.
Well, he's lined up at centre-half forward now with Matthew Robin picking him up. And Robin was such a good player in that first quarter. He had, well, he's got 12 possession and 4 marks.
I just reckon
most of those came in that first term.
KB, with Burke on fire at the moment with 13 touches, maybe Kim Costa could be the man to come on and maybe quieten him down a bit.
Oh, gee, Elliott did everything but take the mark in the end. Zilla, no one to go to. Somehow he got it through to Everett, who kicked very well. Again presenting himself, Knowles. Got Young out wide. Heatley leading down. Adelaide to push back, so he kicks wide. Hudson couldn't take it. Byrne will go to the line, and that, gee, that was close to being deliberate. But in the end, he just ran in a straight line and took it over and out.
Here we go, Hunter. Alan Davis is the father of Chad Davis. Played 250 games. Played for St Kilda, Melbourne, Essendon and Collingwood.
There's a free kick paid here, and it's going St Kilda's way. Interference at the ruck contest, was it, KB?
Yes, I think that might be a good call. Alan Davis, the youngest player in St Kilda's only premiership side.
Well, in
1966.
Fact, the free kick is going to Elliott, who is a fair way off the contest here. Let's see behind. Elliott went
now
to ground.
Off the ball.
He went to ground, but yeah, I thought, well, it obviously was a Shepherd. It looked to me as if it was Elliott that made the high contact, but anyway. Big kick, isn't this, for St Kilda? Only 35 to 40 metres. Not much of an angle, scrappy, but it does the job. Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, it hooked at the very last second. And that says it all.
Hit the post twice, I think. I think Big Spider did that in the first quarter. And just a contest between Stephen Siller and Marcus Shudo. Had 42 touches last week and the 4 goals. Marcus Shudo's had 7 possessions with only, 7 possessions to Siller and 3 to Rashudo.
Thanks, Doug.
Well, he's been good at closing down good players, Stephen Ziller. Biglands, very impressive to Robin, opens up. Bickley runs to 50, should kick a goal. The skipper directly in front. Hammers it home.
Turn you and your garden greener. Learn the do's and don'ts of great compost. It's a real
They led by 14 points at quarter time. Timmy Watson straight away onto the phone.
That must sting, KB. I mean, St Kilda had the ball for so long and then bang.
Well, if you don't convert when you've got your opportunities, at some stage you're going to be hurt when it goes down the other end. Spider got the bounce he wanted to Zilla, who kicks hurriedly back towards centre forward. It's a high ball. It's one for the high flies. The big fist away was from Smart. Hitting the ball hard was Byrne. Battled hard across half back. Jarman throwing off the ball. Burke again wins a hard ball. Heatley pumped away by Bassett. Heatley tried to pluck it out of the air. McLeod, that wonderful vision and skill to Robin. Comes away from half back. Kicks to space. He's looking for Biglands. This will test his athleticism against Spider. Kicked out of the hands, but he's been caught. And Andrew Thompson got a kick in the hands as well, so that's what the free kick obviously was for.
It must be Spider's kick. It has to be Everett's kick. That is a bad error.
He gave, I thought, the indication of holding the ball.
Did.
Big pack of players. Wren Just can't quite hold his marks at the moment. Bassett tumbles the kick forward, hitting the ball hard. It was good play by Wakelin. He attacked the ball.
He did. And both sides just pretty pumped at the moment as Adelaide bring it away through Welsh. Lowe pushing back to fill a gap through the middle of the ground, and so they go short. Edwards, he hasn't got much on offer. Perry's down there. The lead is coming at full forward. Rashudo. It was a good lead. He had the space to work into. And that will be very disappointing for St Kilda. And Tim Watson, particularly if Rashudo can convert here.
Been a good move, Hutto, by Gary Yes, because Rashudo has been beaten by Stephen Ziller. Now with him going forward now, he's got the ability to kick goals. We saw last week by kicking 4 goals for the Crows.
Yeah, he certainly sorted Carr out there, turned him inside out. That's a great kick.
He's 22. Haven't really seen Spider up forward for any length of time. That's a bad bounce again. No chance for the ruck contest. Byrne, handy at half back, pumps the ball back. Wakelin in flight. Marks in front of Perry. Now, Trinity's wanted it short. There's going to be a transfer play to Hutchison, so the players will have to move quickly to the outer side. Moyle gives a lead. But he was being picked up by Goodwin, so he was hesitant to go to Moyle. Now the contest is on. Moyle does well, kicks it off the ground. Stenglen didn't really hit a target. Goodwin, he's played in 2 premiership sides. He's an unobtrusive player. It's been all tied up, and they'll ball it up 70 metres out from goal.
Well, it turned out to be a terrible switch of play, didn't it?
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. He saw one-on-one and wasn't prepared to take that punt.
He wasn't prepared to go to Moylan. Crows look dangerous now. There's a chance for Shuto. The Raging Bull's got it. He's in the pocket. They're screaming for the ball out wide to open up the goal front in Robran and also Biglan's. But I reckon just a step to the right here, Doug.
No doubt he'll
open
do
up
that.
the face of goal, and you should kick it. A player of Rashudo's talent. He's starting to look dangerous. Well held by Stephen Ziller, but up forward, it's a lot different. Rashudo, from a tight angle, doesn't like it. He didn't really come out, Doug. He had to just take one step to the right.
I just reckon maybe here there could be the move could be made too by Tim Watson to put maybe Max Hutchison maybe onto Rashudo going forward. To be even match up there. Young Matthew Carr's been caught out twice.
Oh dear, Perry anticipated the kick in, intercepts and gets the ball off. He laid it off well, and it's Rashudo again.
Just saw Wayne Jackson sitting down, looked like with the emergency umpire. There was a lot of criticism in Melbourne last week because Wayne Jackson wasn't in Melbourne over the Easter break, and particularly for the big Anzac Day game. So he's copped a bit of stick. So he's at the football today at Colonial, and he's sitting it right down on ground level.
Well, I think he deserves a break, KB. He's been on the pump a bit the last couple of weeks. He needed a couple of days off.
Well, Rashudo, we saw him convert just moments ago from a similar position, and he's hit the post, another poster. So he's had 3 shots at goal for 1 goal too.
Well, that was just a bad kick, Anthony, because a player of his talent
kick
from that far out. That's one. There's Wayne Jackson sitting down with the emergency umpire, David Howlett.
What happens if the emergency umpire goes down? Does Jacko go out?
Wayne Jackson is the man. He's the next man on. That's why he's down there. Lenny Hayes bumped off the ball. McLeod put his head down, burrows in. They'll ball it up. That's one part of the game where we talk about professional footballers of today. And there's Rashudo just reminding the trainer,
get out my way,
and the runner that he was in his way. Kicking for goal is an area which hasn't really improved over the years.
It hasn't, KB, and particularly with the goals you've got to kick. That's your bread and butter. I mean, that's what you get paid good money to do, and that is your job. But to miss goals when you're inside 50, you've got to kick those goals.
Young through the centre square. Bassett playing in front. Elliott did well. Kept the ball alive. Went the big fist. They'll share the ball around. Spider, 45 metres out. He's bending it back. What a kick! What a goal!
And that light the Saints up. It really took, while it was a good team goal, it was the individual brilliance of Everett that eventually got it through the middle. Biglan's to take the penalty from the middle of the ground. Goes searching for Welsh. Wakelin in good position. Made the spoil. Vardy versus Peckett. Good shepherding by Stengline. but good persistence by the Saints. And it's out of bounds. Matthew Young this afternoon has had just 6 possessions. Peckett just 1 kick, so a couple of their prime runners out of defence. Had pretty quiet afternoons. Lowe and Wren doing the ruck work at the moment. They're pushed up the ground. Lowe playing at centre-half back today on Wren. Jarman just got the handball away. Stenglein smart. Now they're away. Johnson, who's on the ground, I think tagging Nathan Burke. Standing up Perry. Good work from Hudson to spoil. Perry follows up pretty well. Close to the boundary line. Oh, Peckett didn't make much of an attempt. Was lucky to get away with it in the end. Trianides has some space to work in. It was a shocker of a kick. It was a scrubber. And McLeod might make them pay. Gets the handball back. Jarman will set up the scoring chance. And Rhett Biglan's pushing forward has taken the mark well within scoring range. And wouldn't be surprised to see Jason Trianides make his way to sit down after that.
I know he's had 10 kicks and no handballs. After that kick, I'd say he should reverse that around and have no kicks and have 10 handballs, Jason. That was a shock. I mean, when you come out of defence like that, KB, and you're on your own, you're under no pressure, you've got to find a target or put the ball to your advantage. Turnover.
From 50, Biglan's away to the left. And I guess the thing, too, is when players break free like that, Doug, your whole team is sprinting down the ground. So if you do turn it over, all of a sudden, on the way back, you're in real trouble.
Yeah, you get punished, don't you? Yeah, it was a shocking kick by Jason.
Surakoski on the interchange bench.
Wasn't a great kick either from Biglan's, wasn't it, really? It was a real chance for him.
Peckett pumps the ball wide. Straight over Stewie Lowe's head, out on the full.
Just on Stewie Lowe, Hawk, I'm just wondering what the thoughts are on him at centre back. Just seems to be a bit wasted for the fact that they're getting slaughtered at centre forward, and we've got David Sierakowski on the bench that can be released on to Sean Wren.
Yeah, got a point there, Aussie.
Peter Vardy, too far out to score. This will land in the square. Wren got his hands on it, and Perry has kicked a goal.
So plenty of problems for St Kilda now. Adelaide answering the last Everett goal through Perry. Back to 22 points and almost back to the drawing board for the Saints. Have certainly had a dip, but they've just broken down across centre-half forward. Another ball up, and again, really their footwork letting them down there. Field kicking has cost them dearly. There we go. And the interchange bench, Sierakowski, perhaps he'll get a run again later on. Smart. Biglan's. Low kick. It's not a bad one. The forward was in front, but Wakeland had pushed his way away from Welsh. Now he can use Young on the outlet. He looks up. Got Campbell at half forward, ignores him. He's going to go longer. Oh, it wasn't a good kick to position. Knowles, in the end, did a pretty good job, I think, to get a fist to the ball. Oh, clever from Everett. Very clever. In the path of Zilla, rode the bump well. Saints moving. It's going to be a hard one, though, for Elliott. Bassett held them up. There's a fight on at centre-half forward. Not much in it between Burke and Johnson. Quick kick from Bassett. Sun in the eyes out there. Well done, Welsh, and escape through the two. Can carry it all the way to half forward. Decides to pass, and why not? Rashudo was so far clear that it's bad luck in the end. The kick wasn't well placed. Wakeland, who's gone back onto Rashudo, did pretty well to win the ball in the end and give it off to Hayes. Trianides, his footwork again letting him down. This time Boone was the smotherer. And it's over and out.
Yes, St Kilda had plenty of opportunities. They just keep turning the football over. As you said, Hutto, there, Darryl Wakeland's been moved on to Rashudo's gone forward. Carr's been taken away from that task. You've got to do better.
Trianides decides to bounce it this time. Edwards, well trapped, and didn't really dispose of it. McLeod did well, though. Johnson and now Goodwin. He'll try and get to his left. He does. Gets onto his left and pumps it to the square. Wren backing back. Just can't find the footy. On the bounce coming through. Close to the boundary line. Peckett. Oh, he's just about gone. Was he over the line? It was over the line, and that saved him on that occasion.
Here we are, Peckett. He tried to go back. He had nowhere to go. Good tackle too by the Crows there.
Perry
just been a lot sharper, the Crows. Their skill level's been a lot better than St Kilda. They've used the ball a lot better. Simple as that.
Low against Wren. Got the tap. Elliott just banged it onto the boot. Hit and hope. Moyle had to be strong there. Good contesting by the Saints, and they'll get away with it. The little left foot kick was a wobbler from Carr, but here comes McLeod. Thompson wrapped him up beautifully, and there wasn't much effort there in the end. I know he was wrapped up. but it was probably a fair decision. Thompson takes it and sends the Saints forward. It's hit and hope stuff again. A real high one. Heatley had to take a contested mark. He couldn't. Campbell, a bouncing kick. Spiders back at full forward. His skills have been good against Biglands. Should kick a goal here. Picks it up and gets another one.
It was great because it showed Peter Everett just going to the side of the ball, so it made it a lot easier for him to bend down and pick it up. He's a smart player. Peckett finishes highest, second in their best and fairest. Fell out of favour late last year, has been in reserve, still to find his very best form. Lenny Hayes just into his second season. Oh. It's a short kick to a contest, a bad option. Pounced on by Moyle, just playing his third game to Max Hudson. Goes wide, Elliott's the target. Great play by Jarman. Got his body in line. Loose ball for the Saints. Thompson has just come off the interchange bench. He's caught up on 50. Ball up. 5-4-34 the Saints. 7-8-50 the Adelaide Crows. And there's some very happy young fans. Busloads of Adelaide Crows fans have come across for the game. Robin got his hands on the ball. Burke been picked up by Kane Johnson. Tyson Edwards wants a free kick. Umpire Darren Goldspeak will ball it up.
Spot Everett, boys, is the first multiple goal kicker in this game. With 2 goals.
Having a break at full forward, where we know he's kicked 33 goals for the season. So here's the danger man for the Crows. Kicked off the ground by Bickley. Easy mark to Young. Covers a lot of territory. Young to centre half forward. Spiders the target. Maybe got a shove from Biglands. A lot of carry on the ball. Hayes with pace. 45 metres out and closes. Accuracy was there. Didn't have the distance. And Ben Hart, that great pace, the All-Australian, takes it over the line.
Was his technique right then, Dave?
It was right, Hutto. No, he did the right thing there. He kept the ball low. He kicked a little bit high. Could have went anywhere off his boot because it was a full stretch then. He didn't have time really to balance up because he felt himself under enormous pressure. Great talent, Lenny Hayes.
And look at the Crows go smart. Will he be tackled here? He was. Oh. He's gone. That is holding the ball. Well done, Tony Brown. Surprisingly then, caught him. Terrific effort. Great effort and persistence. And once you bounce while you're being tackled, you're in trouble. Long kick, not much there for the Saints. Not much there. Bassett. They had the numbers there, Adelaide. A change made. Elliott off and Sierakowski on for St Kilda.
Yeah, and Kim Foster ready to come on for the Adelaide Crows too.
You think he might go to Nathan Burke, I think, at this stage? I think Ozzy made a point there. Maybe Lowe can go forward, but who's going to play on Wren?
Johnson from half-back. Just draws the player, and then he would try to go off. Saints had the chance then to wrap Bickley out. Bassett, hurried kick. Perry versus Ryan. Ryan will get there first and take it over the line and out of bounds. So crucial minute and a half remaining. Saints would dearly love a goal, but they probably won't have time. Adelaide obviously would also love a goal, and they're in attack, so they do have the chance. Delaney getting instructions from Tim Watson. Low. Got it down to the St Kilda advantage. Bending down Knowles, who's back in defence now. Not much to kick to, though, and it was a poor kick, really. McLeod taking the mark. Johnson, fairly packed Adelaide forward line as he goes out very wide. It wasn't a bad kick. Good spoil from Knowles. Young will get there first, overran it. Oh, Knowles wrapped up in a good tackle. Stenglein likewise. In goes Sierakowski, no one to lay it off to. Welsh, he went to ground looking for a free kick. Nothing doing. We've got 51 seconds remaining in the quarter. Can St Kilda get something going? Not really, because Peckett had nothing to kick to. Campbell couldn't get really into the contest. Rodman takes the mark. So 40 seconds remaining as Johnson goes short. No mark. Surely that couldn't have been paid. Stenglein got it through the legs of Smart. Now we get a second chance. He's tackled again. He's gone. Not paid by the umpire. He must have said he got a boot to ball. We've got 25 seconds remaining in the quarter. And Adelaide leading by 15 points.
That was interesting. The umpire actually blew his whistle then to pay that mark and changed his mind. I don't think you can do that. If you can, that's a pretty poor effort.
No, if he blows the whistle for a mark, then the mark's got to stand.
Well, there's no doubt he blew his whistle, KB.
Well, we've got 5 seconds, so there'll be no more score, you wouldn't think, in this quarter, unless Adelaide were to drive it down. Siren sounds. Half-time, and again, St Kilda's disposal and probably lack of avenue into attack. The difference between themselves and the opposition. Adelaide would be pretty satisfied, I would think, overall, to be in front by 15 points at half-time.
I had to laugh at that, KB. I don't think Hutto saw that one, but it looked like Ken Costa going to have a shot from about 90 metres out. He just dropped the ball so awkward. But Nathan Burke had a great first quarter. But KB, you're right, Kane Johnson's been terrific in his second quarter. He went on to Burke. He only had 2 touches in the second quarter, and Kane Johnson did cut him out of the game.
Sean Wren, who hasn't been taking too many marks, but young Biglands has been very good. And Ben Hart been outstanding on Heatley. Tyson Edwards, another ball winner for the Adelaide Crows. So the Crows in front here at half-time. They lead by 15 points, 7-8-50 to 5-5-35. Stadium, it is half-time, and the Adelaide Crows taking on the Saints. And the Crows doing a pretty good job, 7-8-50 to 5-5-35. And we have a look at some of the significant moments, Doug, in the first half. And
just the footy in general today has been pretty ordinary. Particularly the foot skills of St Kilda to turn the footy over so many times. They've had a heap of footy. Your pride and joy is about how you deliver the football, and I just reckon some of these guys appears they don't care at times.
Well, they started well, the Saints, with Jason Heatley of kicked 6 last week. He started with the first goal of the match, Delaney bringing it forward.
Yeah, good play by Delaney, but straight after his kick he got benched and had a word from Tim Watson. But Heatley's been caught a few times underneath the footy.
Speaking of being caught, I think we got caught then.
I couldn't help laughing at that one. But anyway, Heatley's been caught under the footy on a couple of occasions. He prefers the ball where it's out in front of him.
Well, the Saints' foot skills have certainly let them down this afternoon, no doubt about that. On this occasion, Peter Everett didn't have much of an option, and he cleared the ball out wide. And this is what happened.
Yeah, the shot and kick by Spider Everett, then he could have went on the other side of the ground, but decided to go short, and the turnover was there. Nothing can do that.
Jason Trianides is another one who's let himself down with some poor kicking. So we have a look here. He just kicked the ball forward, Dougie, and nothing really to kick to. Went back over the head, Hart knocking it away, and then Adelaide running away.
No doubt, I mean, Trianides has been a pretty good player. He's got a fair bit of the footy. Probably had 12 kicks, but he's turned the footy over so many times. And there's Matthew Robin, who's been a very good player, particularly in that first quarter. He had the St Kilda side unsure what was going to go on. There's the man himself, Darren Jarman, on the roll where he's 50 metres out, kicks the ball nice and low. He's a great player, Darren Jarman, terrific football.
What about Rhett Biglands? You haven't seen him in the flesh before, but he's been impressive. He took a very big mark at one stage. Just have a look at it here.
It's a great mark over Spider. It was a big job for him too, because Peter has been in great form for the St Kilda side. And the good thing about the big fella, he can kick a football, as we can see here. It's a great kick, and I just thought Peckett was caught under the footy, and Walsh pushed him under the footy a bit there, and I just thought maybe Peckett was a little bit harder coming back. But still, it was a good mark by the big fella, Rhett Biglands.
One of the other interesting things has been the way St Kilda have tried to manage their side, where their big fellas have gone. Lowe's been in defence, and Everett has gone either at full forward or in the ruck for most of the day. But Spider Everett, when he has had the chance to run free, is still showing his skills, hasn't he?
No doubt about that. And there's the thing about Spider. When he's inside 50 or even outside 50, he has the ability to kick those long goals. And as we see probably a bit earlier, later in that second quarter, he kicked a goal inside 50. There's some of the stats here at the moment. St Kilda's had a fair bit of the footy, 90 and 50, got more possessions than Adelaide. And turnovers 13 to St Kilda, 16 to Adelaide. Marks 43 to Adelaide and St Kilda 26. And centre breaks 6 to St Kilda and 5 to Adelaide.
And the team stats for the Mitsubishi Motors. St Kilda, as you can see, Spider Everett at the top. Nathan Burke, first quarter, 8 kicks and only 1 in the second.
Yeah, he certainly got cut out of the game in the second quarter. Kane Johnson went on to Nathan Burke and certainly did a very good job on him. Spider's had 9 touches. As we said, Jason Trianides of the half-back flank had 11 kicks, but I reckon he's turned the footy over probably 5 or 6 times out of those 11 kicks. Silla was very good early in the game, had 7 touches, and Caprasciuto right out of the game, who was forced to go forward. It was a very good player for him. There's Adelaide Crows here. And see, McLeod was very good. He started on the half-back flank. He's had 4 kicks and 10 handballs, and very good player for them as well. And as I said, Rhett Biglands, he's had 9 kicks and 1 handball.
We better take a break, Doug.
Oh, do we what?
15 points the difference here at half-time. We'll be back at Colonial in just the
opening minutes. Carr, Knowles, screws it back. Chance there for Moyle and Everett. Everett tapping it centrally, but there was no one to run onto it. And McLeod clearing it into space, and that's all there is. Space, and then Kim Costa in that order. And Costa gets there.
and can use it well. Robrin looking up. Got Welsh pushing back towards full
here we
forward.
go.
He's carried it a long way. He got one from here earlier. Same again. Oh, Welsh kicked it. Touched. Did it come off too high, or was it already over the line?
I think he dropped the ball there, Hutto. He dropped the ball and it went through, and he's kicked it behind the line. So I think it caught unexpected here, Scott Welsh. I don't think didn't think he was going to get it. Here we are.
Gee.
Well, the umpire was in the perfect spot. We can't question that, can we?
Well, I think we can.
Well, the full ball's got to be over the line. It's like on the boundary line, doesn't it? The ball in its entirety has got to be across the line. It was a close one. See the Crows bench. Binky sitting on the bench there along with Marsh. Some pushing and shoving. Stewie Lowe with strength. Perry just shoveled the ball out, going to ground. Vardy, so a loose ball 65 metres out from the Crows' goal. Stewie Lowe to Burke. A quiet second quarter, had a fantastic first quarter, but full marks to Kane Johnson, get a good tagging job, thumped away by Bassett. He's very good at that. Zilla hits the pack hard, tries to create a loose ball, looking for Young. Going to ground was his opponent. He copped one in the back. So Bassett will take the free kick. He's on centre wing. Broke a leg last year in the last game against the Kangaroos. Just his 6th game for the year. First of all, tried out with the Demons. But has been a good player when fit. Runs the 50. Chance for Johnson, goes to ground, but the whistle is gone. The free kick is going to the Saints, so Peckett in that last line of defence. Playing game number 143 today.
Very wide to Stuart Lowe. Not a great deal for him to aim at. He goes for Sirakoski, but he was puppeted beautifully out of position. Bassett with the ball nicely. Robrin being charged down, but he got the kick. Oh, well-placed kick to Lowe. Hudson spoiled at the last moment. Lowe did well. Could have used Hudson. Decided to switch play. Little dangerous. Trying it. He's got to be good here, and was. Really strong mark with Bickley bearing down. Now looks up. Not a great... He's got Elliott in short. Oh, dear. He went shorter than that. Pickett copped it up. Good work, though, by Elliott just to get a hand to ball. Davis, oh, Trianides running the wrong way. Terrific work by Bickley. Paddled it forward. Vardy, usually good in this situation, makes the most of it.
They conquered the auditions.
Are you serious? Oh,
They conquered their first album.
the #1 single.
Now it's time for their big
points. St Kilda not making good decisions under pressure, and sometimes not making good decisions when they're not under pressure. And all of a sudden you get the feeling that the Crows' confidence is rising. From the centre square, Steglin goes short, hits Welsh. Just get the feeling they've gone up a cog, they've bounced out after half-time. They look a bit sharper than the Saints, who seem to be just a couple of metres behind their opponent, and when put under a bit of pressure, just can't make the right decision. Welsh has kicked 19 goals for the season. It's been a wonderful pickup. He'll be shooting from right on 50. He's pushed it right. It's going right to the line. Could have been kept alive. Finally forced through for a minor score.
Just the midfield, KB, certainly starting to get on top here for the Adelaide Crows. They're winning the ball out of the centre. Robin's been terrific coming off that centre half back where he gets the ball and he's prepared to run down the ground. We know Robin quite well can kick the ball nice and long. He's been very good today.
Sirakoski on the bench along with Tony Brown. For the Saints, Peckett caught in 2 minds. Now the umpire says kick it now. So he goes wide and finds Vardy. Now Vardy might just put this straight back over his head. You can see the distance. It'll be right on 50.
Well, we saw the graphic a moment ago which explained how badly the third quarters had been for the Saints, and they would be just having all their worst nightmares here, wouldn't they?
19 goals for the season, the third term. I think over 40 goals kicked against them. Vardy, he's booted 2 goals, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the third. He's bending it back, not enough. Stewie Lowe stands his ground, and he's been paid the mark.
Just got to find a target when you kick out from full-back, and sometimes when you try and create something, you're better off, if you're in doubt, kick the ball nice and long and get it outside your 50, KB.
Not too hard to do, is it?
Not too hard to do. Your mind tells you if you're in doubt, get rid of the ball nice and long.
Oh, well, he fell over and Bickley takes it, and it's a comedy of errors continuing for the Saints. Wren to come through and put it through, and that was cruel luck for Knowles.
Yeah, certainly was, no doubt about that, Hunter. And Timmy watching me saying to himself, what can I do here with these blokes? What can I turn things around here? How can I turn it around?
Well, Wren has kicked 6 goals before today, and another poster. I think that's 2 for each team. So they've had their chances to really, well, almost put them away early in this third quarter, but they haven't, so maybe St Kilda's luck can turn around. 4 posters in the game so far, 1 to Mark Rashudo in the second quarter, now to Sean Wren. And for the Saints, Everett and also Tim Elliott hit the post. Well, the kick-ins have been a big problem for the Saints. Wakeland was the target. Good little kick away. Getting it forward, Moyles, but under pressure, Costa has to kick it quickly. A high one, Bickley. Good position. Perry, cut them open, came through. Takes the mark. Now up forward, he's got a lead from Welsh. He's going to go longer. He's going to have a crack at them, and he's missed. So again, the Saints just being let off the hook here.
That's the thing I like about Mark Bickley. We just saw on that occasion he just put his body on the line. We've seen him do it so many times. That was just absolute guts. Courageous play by Mark Bickley. Got absolutely poleaxed. Does it every week.
25 points, the biggest lead so far. They led by 14 points, the Crows at quarter time. 15 points at half time for thump back inside 50. Peckett sees it over the line.
Would you change Justin Peckett from kicking in, Doug? I mean, well, he's broken down pretty much 4 times in a row.
He's been a designated kicker for a while, Hutto, down there, I know, and you probably have to have a good look at it now. I'm not quite sure who'd be the option. Max Hudson's playing at full back, picking up Darren Jarman. Do you use him, or you use a Nathan Burke maybe to kick out?
Now, a great tap out that time by Wren. I thought he might have been manhandled. Welsh, almost an impossible angle, puts it straight over the line on the full.
And finally, the Saints have put Stewie Lowe down the forward line. About time, as far as I'm concerned.
You've been calling for it, Oz?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it now.
Yeah. Hudson goes short to Nathan Burke. He's only had 2 kicks since the first quarter. Payne Johnson really did shut down the champ in that second term. Thompson belts the ball back inside the centre square. No really high marking options for the Saints. But the ball has been won by Moyle.
They've finally broken the line, haven't they, for the first time in 10 minutes.
Delaney runs hard and he's got it inside 50. So the Saints need a goal just to lift the confidence.
He's kicked a few goals over the last couple of weeks, KB, Tony Delaney, by coming off that half-back flank and running forward for the Saints.
Well, he's kicked 3 goals for the season. It's his 3rd chance at the big time. Started with the Bombers, went to the Dockers. Now, look, he should be going back and just pumping straight through the goals. No need to look around. He was only kicking from 45 metres out. He's got the sun at his back. Plenty of goal space. Tony Delaney leans back, unloads, and misses to the right.
Looks like Spike Everett now has gone into the ruck, as Ozzy said before. Stuart Lowe now has gone down to full forward, with Heatley playing next to him.
Just over 13 minutes left in this third quarter. Saints kicked their last goal at the 24-minute mark of the second term. Bassett thumps the ball long. Thompson stands his ground in front. Channel 7 Footballer of the Year last year. On hands and knees, trying to crash his way through with strength. All tied up. McLeod overruns the ball. Moyle shovel the ball out. Johnson kicked off the ground by Delaney inside 50. Moyle runs hard. Good play also by Goodwin. Kept the ball towards the line. Hart's very keen to take it over. Careful at the same time. Goodwin squeezed up on the boundary line. Tries to keep it alive. Delaney. DeHay should kick a goal. Heatley. Saints have one on the board.
All this lifetime health cover. I mean, where are you supposed to start? I mean, I know we're going to need hospital, dentist, glasses, all that sort of thing. I'm just wanting to do the right thing for the kids, you know?
Me? I got a package deal.
Yeah, but that'd cost a bit, wouldn't it?
No, it's pretty good.
They now lead by 18. They've kicked 1 goal 4 to 1 goal 1. So maybe that Heatley goal could inspire the Saints, but the Crows leading by 3. Everett in the middle. Bigland's back in the centre for Adelaide. Everett the tap. Thompson couldn't get hold of it. Rashudo trying. Johnson. Biglands. Good work, Traianides. Zilla was tough. Bickley still over it.
Gone.
No.
Well, he should have been penalised because he dragged the ball back in
underneath. He did drag it, KB.
The umpire was on the wrong side.
You can never question St Kilda's commitment and their ability to have a go. Just their ability to make the right decisions at the right time. Their turnover has been very costly here today.
Well, Stuart Lowe's in the goal screw at the moment. Everett doing the ruck work. Got it down. Burke charging through. Zilla. Knowles has been creative for them. That time not so good. Costa came on the ground late in the second quarter. Johnson quick with the kick. Well, that's good strong mark from Wakeland. Up, and Ryan's got it. As he looks up the ground, not a great deal on offer. He'll go to half forward. Delaney's in front. Over the top, crashing through Carr. Goodwin in a tight spot. Good vision. Got it to Johnson. Uses smart. They're advancing now. He's almost within range. He'll set it up for the square. Welsh, a couple to beat. In front, Wakeland. Had the height and got it off. And taking it away is Traianides. We've talked about his disposal. Let's have a look at... Oh, he's got nowhere to go. Suddenly realised he had nowhere to go. So he goes short to Everett. They had to hold it up and wait till the next line gave them something. And in the end, Traianides has had to run forward to give them something. Hayes is in the middle of the ground, but he'll probably go longer than that. Lowe's got to be the target, surely on 50. No, he goes shorter and gets it out wide. Knowles' kick. Lowe was the target. Heatley couldn't take it. And Adelaide should be able to hold it up, although Bickley was well trapped then. Again, the Saints fans calling for a free. Good one, in fact. And we'll have a bounce.
Jarman is off. Yeah, he's off there, KB. Having a bit of a breather. Ben Marsh on for his first run, I think, so far in this game. Just on that occasion, Jason Traianides had nowhere to go, Hunter. He caught it beautifully. He had to stop, prop, because there's no one down there. Stewie had to come up the ground and be a marking option.
And Marsh can be a very dangerous player. He's a very accurate kick, and he's gone to full forward, so they've got that extra height. Jarman just at 5 possessions. And a ball up inside 50 for the Saints.
You can see the frustration on the faces of experienced players like Nathan Burke. They're really trying. And they just can't convert.
Well, the commitment's first class, Hunter. We know that, but just their decision-making's been shocking.
Saints trail by 18 points. Costa to McLeod. Danger here for the Saints. McLeod carries the ball to centre wing. Again, wobbles the ball up towards Reynolds. Clean bowl. Peckett goes to ground. Just couldn't keep his footing. Ryan beaten this time. Big Marsh is on the ground. Got his frame in front. Vardy, a look-away handball to Welsh. Sets it up wide. Here's a chance. Stenglen. It's a wild kick. Way, way off target. Out of bounds or behind. It's 1 point. I think Marsh is a good option up there, Doug. I'm not quite certain where you've seen him play. He's had a knee reconstruction, hurt himself last year. He is a very strong mark, and he's a beautiful kick. And Jarman just not on song so far today. But he might be a problem for the Saints with his height and marking power. Elliott, second grab, should have taken the mark. Vardy on the rebound. This could hurt the Saints. They'll close quickly. Loose ball. Perry dropped the earlier chest mark. They pile on top again. They force a ball up just 15 metres out from goal.
I think you're right, KB. If Marsh coming on, because Darryl Wakeman was going back there, he probably took 3 or 4 marks in this quarter, and with Sean Wren down at centre half forward, you got the 2 big marking options down there. That could cause some problems for the St Kilda defence.
Tim Watson goes for the phone again. They're hanging in there, the Saints, 42-61. A 19-point ball game. Wren and Spider Everett very keen to get their bodies in front. It's an important ball up. They lock arms. It's a dangerous tap in the end by Everett. Offensive tap. Here's a chance. Biglands. Gee, he took a great mark early in the game. Over the top of Spider Everett. Looks a real prospect. This is a poor kick. Up and under. High ball. Everett takes the front position. Couldn't hang on to it. Second grab. Welsh. Kick half smothered off the boot by Hudson. Saints under pressure. Going to ground was Thompson. Tries to keep the ball aligned. Tony Brown's desperate. Again, the Crows converge quickly. Ball up 35 metres out from goal.
Inside 50 this quarter, St Kilda 4 times for only 1 goal. And for Adelaide, 12 times for the 1 goal. So Adelaide doing plenty of attacking inside 50.
Well, remembering, according to Richard Osborne, Adelaide have the breeze in this quarter out on the full. Is it still the case, Richard, down there?
Yeah, very blowy at the moment, Hunter. There's no doubt 2 or 3 goal breeze. If they can use the ball smartly this quarter, the game will be beyond St Kilda at 3-quarter time.
Adelaide have kicked 1-5 in this quarter. Wren couldn't take it. Did he cop one high? No. Elliott just got it to boot. Zilla, he's gone to ground. He's taken it under himself. But the umpires have been a little bit more reluctant in the last few weeks to pay that free kick.
Well, if you go to ground in a contest, then you're given more opportunity. It's only if you go to ground voluntary and then don't knock it out in the one action that you'll be pinged straight away.
So it's a crucial stage of the game. You really get the feeling if Adelaide can get the next one or two, it could be just about all over. That's a free kick. And it's going to Rashudo, the man that dominated last week.
I wouldn't give up on the Saints. They showed last week against the Kangaroos. They were 40 points down and they kept chipping away. I don't think we can question their heart.
You can kick this, Mark Rashudo.
Well, he's setting it up, and it's not a bad kick for Biglands. Oh, good strong mark. I guess it wouldn't have been what the St Kilda defence thought on that occasion. He landed it 40 metres out from goal, 35 metres out, rather than on the point of the square.
Yeah, it was a good kick there by Mark Rashudo, and what was quite evident. It looks like he probably is playing in the ruck, but he had to go forward to the goal square, and they get caught out. The big Kim has just been too big to have for the Adelaide Crows for St Kilda.
Yeah, there's been a change down on the bench there, Richard.
Yeah, one thing a bit funny, Alan Stoneham, the St Kilda runner, has actually been ordered off with the blood rule. I don't know if that's a first in AFL football.
He's been ordered off, has he, with the blood rule?
Yeah, he's got a bit of blood on the front of his skivvy.
The Biglands have kicked just one goal this year. And that is still the case.
Didn't cut his wrist, did he?
I'm not sure, but he's going to have to change his top. There's blood all down the front of it.
Must have got splattered. Well, an unfortunate miss for the Crows. Biglands, only his 4th game. Looks an impressive young player. Good size. Vardy has kicked a couple of goals. Having to force it back over the line for a toss back in.
Turnovers in this quarter, guys. St Kilda had 5 in the Crows forward, 50, and Adelaide had 2 turnovers.
6.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Crows constantly in attack. Sierakowski off the bench into the ruck. Ball up on 50. The Crows led by 14 points at quarter time and 15 points at half time. They led by 25 points at one stage in this 3rd term. They now lead by 20. Wren thumps the ball out towards Johnson. Smart might have been caught high. There was no free. And Tyson Edwards just points to his head, to the umpire.
I'll tell you what, KB, they missed the brilliance of Robert Harvey. I mean, we all know that, but geez, today it just stands out because his ability to use the football is absolutely correct, and he's a big blow today, Robert Harvey.
He's been averaging 25 possessions a game as well. Zilla, it's a hurried kick, back to the edge of the centre square. Delaney tried to take a one-hander. Carr was clever, got the run of Hayes. Stewie Lowe in front, too much carry on the ball, got bodied out of it on that occasion. McLeod, it's caught, a roll of the shoulders. to Hart, loose ball. Clean hands needed. Kicks the ball back, Spider. Oh, Tony Brown, well done.
That's an outstanding mark from Brown. They really needed to stand up there. Oh, he centres it. Thompson, Robin's in the mix as well. Robin got hands to it, but Rashudo was clever, creative too. Johnson, hop half back, low. The delivery wasn't great. The hands from Bickley, excellent. Costa through the middle, Robin. And on the end of it, Bicklins, his kicking's let him down a bit today. That's a thumper though, right to the square. Welsh stood up. And good pressure though, good pressure by the Saints. First Ryan, now Pickett carries it away, nothing to go to. Wanted to get it over the line. Young goes in hard, Stengline over the top, knocked it out. Oh, Sierakowski, clever. Now Pickett kicks quickly. It'll be a downfield free. It'll be taken by Delaney, you would think, and the Saints can get it going.
Got Spider down on his own.
Gives it to Knowles instead. I think, no, we'll have to come back to Delaney. He's got Spider, as you said, up on 50, still in good position. And did well, buffeted it off Robin. How's his ground level work? Not good enough, I'm afraid. As McLeod gets it to Robin, he's just about gone. Johnson, oh, clean bowl. Coming through well, Knowles, well wrapped up by Johnson. And the result in the end is a neutral one. Pretty much the state of play, really. Everything neutral.
Saints have just got to make better decisions. Tony Brown, when he had that kick before, he had Stewie Lowe in the goal square. Kick it to the goal square. That's the hot spot. You've got a guy there who can take a great mark. Why have a centering kick that goes about 30 metres to a big pack of players?
You're right, KB.
You've just got to make better decisions. McLeod, thought he was under pressure, so he just belted the ball back towards centre wing. Trinides has won a fair bit of the ball. He's had it 16 times in 5 marks. Beckley, 65 metres out. Kicks to the goal square. He's looking for a lucky bounce. Great kick off the ground. Vardy's got 3.
So this guy.
Apparently for Adelaide. Vardy straight away off the ground, but he's increased their lead to 26 points. Jarman on. It wasn't a great bounce in the middle. Everett got the Saints moving at least out of the centre. The handball was good from Knowles. Young goes low in the low direction, and he takes the mark, and he's well within range.
It's about the first time they've gone direct out of the centre, down the corridor. I reckon the first time.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just absolutely the right way to go about. They won the ball out of the centre. Matthew Young used the ball beautifully, and there's the first time they've gone down the corridor.
So Stuart Lowe. Really, the picture's telling a great story there of the pressure on Stuart Lowe here. And those pictures tell the great story of the result. It's really been a game of who's going to make the least errors almost, hasn't it? When you look on the scoreboard and see 9 goals 14 to 6-7. Seen some real chances go begging, particularly in this quarter by Adelaide in front of goal. Everett did well then to get it down. Another chance created for the Saints. Young, and they've just done well to push McLeod across half back for a lot of the game. But Delaney with a chance. He's gone well. That's a good kick. That's a good kick. And Tony Brown is dead in front.
Yeah, great vision there by Tony Delaney. Good play by Stuart Lowe to come down the ground and create that opportunity. There's Tony Brown now in his third kick. Good hands there across too from Andrew Thompson. Get the ball across. Good vision to find Tony Brown having his third kick. Got to kick the goal.
Well, 30 out. There's no excuses from there to miss, and there's none needed. He's put it through.
19-point ball game. They trailed by 15 points at half-time. So that horror third quarter, they've been able to put on hold, which has been their bogey quarter during the course of the year. And that might give them some heart going into the last quarter. Just over 2 minutes left in this third term. Big Spider comes charging in. Bigland's got his hands on the ball. Taken away by Spider. Gives it across. Zilla pumps the ball inside 50. Stewie Lowe was caught napping as Bassett belts the ball back. Spider. Everett should have taken the mark. We've seen a few drop marks today. Does a 360. Risciuto has kicked a couple of goals. Rockets the ball out wide. Lenny Hayes has it kicked out of his hands. Beckley on the charge. Forces the ball forward. Scotty Welsh comes out. Playing the ball along in front. Beckley. Impossible angle. Puts it through from behind. It was team lifting stuff. Hit the ball hard. And followed it up all the way to the pocket. And would have been a great goal.
No doubt. He's just a great captain, isn't he? I mean, just that passage of play there. He just keeps pushing the ball forward. That was brilliant play by the skipper.
So Peckett takes his time. He'll get the hurry up from the umpire. Kicks the ball long. Wakeland's a target, so Sierakowski. Stenglen flew in front. Thompson pounced on it, gave it across to Ryan, who started virtually at centre half forward playing on Robin. Smart. Great player for the Crows. Been a wonderful career, approaching 200 games. Tyson Edwards is quick. Used it well to McLeod, the playmaker, across half back. Kane Johnson on the burst through the centre square to the half-forward line. This is a shocking kick. Now, on the reach was Wakeland, couldn't take it. Stenglen, again, too much carry on the ball. Great tackle. Got support by Zilla, who ran hard to Burke. Been quiet since the first quarter. To centre half forward, Stewie Lowe's territory. Tries to take a one-hander. Bumped away by Bassett, the consummate defender. Smart on the boundary line. Burke wants to set it up. Squeezed up on the line. Robin, clever play. The Saints keep it alive. Young, 45 metres out. Stewie Lowe wants to play on the Spider. Kick a goal. He does. Saints alive at Colonial Stadium.
A premier special.
Battle. Robin's had plenty of it. He's had 19 possessions. They haven't always been directly opposed. Bigland's also been influential. Last 30 seconds of the third quarter. Can either side add to their totals? Maybe the Saints, who was in a throw. It's given as a throw, so it'll be Adelaide with the last scoring opportunity of the quarter. The clock is on 21 seconds. They won't know that. You'd think the Saints defenders would want to push back now and just clog it up. And they haven't really done that. Sean Wren takes the mark. There's plenty of open spaces down there at full forward. Welsh is pretty good one-on-one. Wakeland topped it close. Oh, Jarman, on better days, he would have picked it up and screwed it over the shoulder and nailed it. But it's been pretty quiet for him today. Just the 1 goal, 5 possessions. Tim Watson coming down. He'll hope they can erode these last 8 seconds. 14 points is the margin. Adelaide in front. Wren grabs it. Oh, he had a scoring chance. Still might go. Dribbling kick. Burke, if he gets it clear, it'll just about be the siren. There it goes. So we've got a contest on our hands. Tim Watson, even though they only cut the margin by 1 point for that quarter, I think would be pretty happy. They've got the breeze in the last quarter here at Colonial Stadium. And at the moment, it is 9:15.69 to 8:7.55. Third quarter, a real struggle. Adelaide wasted opportunities. As you can see, they kicked 2 goals, 7, and St Kilda kicked 3-2. So the Crows lead by 14. Going into this last quarter, Vardy the main multiple for Adelaide, the rest singles, and Everett has been the main provider for the Saints in front of goal.
7 Sport hope you're enjoying this match as part of the Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000.
So shortly down to Richard Osborne, who will have Peter Banfield with him as the Saints get ready for. And again, Everett is in the ruck, as Dougie said, low at full forward. Zilla, Thompson in the middle with Burke. And Ben Marsh into the ruck for the Crows. Thompson got the quick kick. Pushing forward Carr. The feed was all right. Now Hayes going very wide. Knowles did well at the start of the last quarter. Fighting for it. Burke got it out very wide, low. They had to be cleaner with their disposal. It was pretty tough though, a lot of players around the ball. Is that a high tackle or a ball up?
I think a ball up there, Hutto. For St Kilda win this game, KB, they've got to get the ball out of the centre and they're going to go straight down the centre, straight down the corridor to have any hope of in this game. You can't go out wide.
Rob Brunoi tapped it. You think he was trying to tap it to Thompson. He set it up for Campbell. Not a bad kick. And Campbell takes a good overhead mark.
It was a very good kick because Campbell had a break of 3 or 4 metres on his opponent, Andrew McLeod, and the ball was out in front. It was a very, very good kick.
Just really wanted a perfect kick by Thompson then.
Well, Andrew McLeod was so damaging really for the whole match, but in that third quarter particularly of half-back. So whoever's playing on him has to be accountable, but most importantly for Campbell, he has to kick the goal, and he has.
They get back to an 8-point ball game. They trailed by 25 points during that third term. Speaking to Tim Watson before the start of the season, he said, I picked up this guy called Freddie Campbell. I think he can play a bit. Well, he kicked him a goal when it was needed. Risciuto to Johnson. Kicks the ball back inside 50. Sierakowski spent a lot of time on the bench. Now's the time to stand up and be counted. Goes wide, it'll have to be a good kick. Young should have taken the mark. 3 against 1. Danger for the Saints. Steglen kicks to the square. This could bounce. Sierakowski wants to keep it alive. Close to the line. Vardy. It's going for his 4th goal.
Out of bounds. Tell you what, the boundary umpire made that call from a long, I think he was right, but he made it from a long, long way away.
Well, he was over the line.
He was over.
He was on eggshells a bit, David Sierakowski, because he didn't want to really carry the ball across the line. He was frightened of being pinged. So a chance from the Crows, a throw in, Wren to do the ruck work. Peckett, Trianides, kicks the ball back towards the half-back flank. Risciuto running with the flight. Kicked the goal in the second term. He's kicked a couple of behinds as well. Goes short. Looks for Tyson Edwards. A dangerous player. Is quick. Can kick a goal. Too far out to score. Big Wren's getting back to the goal square. The lead is on. He was looking for Benke. Thompson's done well. He's been very good in this last quarter to Knowles. On the burst, the Saints. Zilla to centre half forward. Here comes Big Stewie Campbell.
Free kick.
Now he's got the free kick.
Gee, that was great play by Tony Delaney down that back line, just to get his hands on the football there. The pass was certainly on. A good play by Campbell.
Now it's a one-on-one contest. He's looking for Heatley. He was forced under the ball. It wasn't a good option. Again, he should have gone for the square. At least he had Stewie Lowe plonked on the line. Tyson Edwards. This could hurt now the Saints. Comes away, a couple of bounces. Time for think music. The mind is ticking over. The lead is on. Wren's out in front. Good defensive play by Sierakowski. Strong body work. Tyson closed quickly. Wren now desperate at ground level. And they'll ball it up.
Geez, he's been good, David Serakowski, since going back there to play on the big Sean Wren. He's been very, very good. He's kicked before, quite went to Matthew Young, but Young dropped the mark. He should have took two.
Well, the tension for both coaches must be unbearable. Gary Ayres experienced one last week. Saints came home but couldn't do it over the Kangaroos. Oh, that's a bad turnover. And Rashudo might make them pay. He's a big kick. He is a thumping kick. He is a huge kick.
They led by 14 at quarter time, 15 at half time, and 14 at three-quarter time, and still the Crows by 14 points. Thompson inspired in this last quarter. Zilla at ground level works hard, just shovel the ball out. Lenny Hayes wants a free and he'll get it. He's on the edge of the centre square.
Good decision. Kim Costa dragged the ball back under. Umpire right.
Gee, McLeod could have given away 50 then.
Hayes, an up and under kick. Stewie Lowe works his way to the front. Hart, big fist away. Lucks of fortune, ricochets in the arms of Marsh. Dribbles the ball out. He was looking for Perry. Vardy's been dangerous. He's booted three. He'll want to keep the ball alive. Peckett squeezed on the line. Now the boundary umpire has signalled this is out. Now he's going to go to the central umpire, which is good play because we've had a boundary umpire this year who didn't do that, and he got suspended.
I thought it was still in, KB. I don't think it went out.
Well, the umpire made his decision and got across to the field umpire very, very quickly. McLeod tickles the ball along. Nathan Burke.
The reality is, though, KB, in this day and age, boundary umpires cannot keep up with the pace of the play.
Just moves too quick.
Boundary throw in on 50. So a chance for the Crows. Wren wants to feed it off. It was clever play. Gallagher, fresh legs, kicks to the pocket. Too much carry, it's out on the full.
Well, they've got a few with fresh legs, haven't they? Gallagher and Marsh, who came on and into the ruck. Hudson transferring play. Again, putting the pressure on, and they couldn't mark. It was Traianides this time. Bickley able to just get the little handball off. And the shot at goal is just off target from Gallagher. So all of a sudden, after Kilda started with the first goal, it's Adelaide that have had a lot of the footy in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I just wonder why would he kick to Traianides, who's against two opponents on that occasion. The kick had to be absolutely 100% spot on. It wasn't.
Well, Peckett's had his problems kicking in this afternoon. Wakeland was the target. He couldn't pull it down. No, he has pulled it down. According to the umpire. So Wakeland will take it, and he'll go inboard to Young. He's got Zilla in short, but he might go longer. Yes, he goes longer. Low. He read it pretty well, Stewie. Yes, he did. And he's almost within range. Waverley Park, you've seen him pump these goals in the past. This one's going to sit up. It's got the carry. It's there. We've got a ball game.
Well, I love my kids. And I'm into all things Greek.
And you're always at the beach.
I really like the beach. My name is Tula Zaris, and this is my .com.
There's one place where all your interests come together. Telstra.com. It's your .com.
Thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. You're shoveling sand or building a dam, you can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Well, Adelaide has tried Burton and McGregor and several other young players in their search for a big tall forward. Young Perry has been outstanding today. McLeod moved into the middle, get them going, and long and strong again they come charging. Oh, everyone knocked down but Welsh, and he's missed, he's hit the post. Oh, I think he had more time than he knew.
Oh, I got a feeling his body momentum was going too far over the line.
Yeah, fair point, fair point. They all went crashing down.
They
there it is.
It was actually, he did quite well.
He did very well.
To try and get some balance.
Memories of Percy Jones. The clearance has been problems though for St Kilda. They haven't been able to clear their defence. And again, they had trouble. Gallagher's kick to McLeod.
Vardy.
And he's all on his own too. Peckett just got there. Did he get a free kick for a high tackle? No. Benke, well wrapped up. Threw that away. Young just disposed of it in time. Delaney backed himself. Chris dragged down, holding the ball. Holding the ball against Delaney.
You just thought Spider was going to come in and shepherd here. It just wasn't quick enough to get in and give him a chop out there. And a good tackle by Kim Costa.
Well, the pass is very wide. That Goodwin is a left footer. So it'd be a chance here. And this would just about spell the end for the Saints. Oh, it looked good off the boot. He's pushed it across a little bit, just too far. And a behind again, the result. So Adelaide's kicking 11-18.
You just wonder when they're going to go now, St Kilda, from this kick out. Just get a video of their last goal. Matthew Young kicked the ball 60 metres to Stuart Lowe. Show the players all week next week. This is how you do it.
Well, their kick-ins have been a disaster, really, overall, haven't they?
Yep.
Trianides knocking it on. Oh, Hudson. Was he ridden into the ground? No. Free kick going to Gallagher. Now he can send the Crows forward. He's really been very lively since he came on the ground. Gets it to centre half forward. Smart, Benke. They both flew. Zilla, Rashudo, been strong at crucial times this afternoon. Smart somehow found it through to Bickley. Saints had numbers there, but Trianides couldn't beat Gallagher. Knowles takes it to the line. It's over and out.
So you like to look at this young David Gallagher. I saw him a couple of times last year play for Adelaide. I don't think he's played a lot of footy this year, but I tell you, he's hard on the football, well balanced and good school level. Very good player.
His first game this year, he was pretty good last year, Gallagher. Norwich Rising Star nomination as well. Young boy from Brand Dragons. Lenny Hayes kicks the ball long. Looking for Carr. I thought he might have held the grab. Might have had enough purchase on the ball. Does well at ground level, edge of the centre square. Centre half forward. Great kick. Spider's got it on 50. Unloads. Big bomb. Stewie Lowe in front. Worked the big frame in front. Freddie Campbell ricochets off his leg and through for a behind. 1-1 to Freddie Campbell. Major goal kickers today for Adelaide. 3 to Peter Vardy, 2 to Ian Perry and 2 to Mark Rashudo. 3 to Spider Everett, 2 to Jason Heatley, who I think, Richard, is still on the interchange bench.
Yes, that's right, KB.
Smart was the target on the kick-in. McLeod becomes their outlet, and Marsh was just wandering around down on the wing. Suddenly they've got the numbers. Lucky bounce for Marsh, but he can do a lot with it. Oh, the kick was low. He had the right idea. Wren, was he shoved in the back? Peckett off the ground, follows it up. Just a fumble at the crucial stage. Numbers with Adelaide. Vardy winds into it and misses away to the right.
Just thought Justin Peckett then, when you're under enormous pressure, when you try and bend down to pick the football, either you get the ball or you kick it off the ground and get out of your area. Got to make sure of it.
Still plenty of time for the Saints. Just a tick under 10 minutes left in this final quarter. 68 plays, 85.
Must be a blood rule here, is there?
No, it was actually a pair of the trainer's scissors were in the middle of the ground, so just removing them.
Peckett again pumps the ball wide, 2 against 1. Rashudo, those quick hands, the raging bull. To McLeod, wonderful vision. Bickley, the skipper, the playmaker. Perry. They've got some impressive young players. I like the look of Biglands. I like the look of Perry. Gallagher's quick, some fresh legs.
But again, the kick-ins,
Kick-in again, yeah, I know, Hunter, you touched on it a few times, mate. I know.
Don't know open to it.
No, it's been very costly. You've got to bring it up when it happens all the time. Simple as that.
Crows by 17 points. Make that 23.
with an incredible deadline.
Another defeat here at Colonial. Still time for them, but they'll need to turn things around very quickly. Just hard to see the passage they're going to get to goal. Lowe's now at centre-half forward and Everett at full forward, so they have got scoring options. Burke and Thompson all playing in the forward line along with Campbell, so he's thrown all his class players up forward, and the danger of that obviously is that they might not be able to get the ball down there. Now they've got a chance. Elliott to centre-half forward, Burke's in front, competitive, but unable to take it. Smart, Burke, he just kept on going. Hayes was crunched. McLeod took them on and rode the bump beautifully, done some important things. Bassett has also done some good things for them. And Rashudo, just so tough and strong. Been a bit quiet today, but he was pushed forward and kicked a couple of goals when they needed them. That's not a great... Oh, it isn't as bad as I thought. Just landing in.
That was a terrific mark by Rashudo.
Oh,
it was just
mark.
upper body strength, wasn't it? To just get your body in front and just roll yourself at the right time, take the crunch from behind and take the big grab. Bigland's on the interchange bench there.
And Darren
Jarman,
yep.
young Stegland. Jarman's only had the 5 possessions today, kicked the 1 goal. Chance for the Crows. Johnson did a great job on Nathan Burke, who killed the Crows in the first quarter. Elliott got his hands on the ball. Tony Brown tried to crash his way through. Might have been a high tackle on Costa.
Yeah, it was. Not paid though.
So the Crows have answered every challenge by the Saints. They lead by 23 points. After leading by 14 points at 3/4 time. Peatley warming up on the boundary line. He's kicked a couple of goals. Elliott put his fist to the ball. It was pinched that time by Johnson. To Perry. Been a dangerous player with 3 goals. The race is on. Hart, youngest player ever to play for the Crows. 3 times All-Australian. Comes away and drills it. Finds Goodwin. Such an underrated player.
Been a great player, Hart, any KB, over many years now. I mean, All-Australian on a few occasions. Just does the right things all the time.
It's the ball wide. Bassett showed tremendous courage. Welsh, the crummer. Squeezed in the pocket. Wren couldn't quite get there. And finally forced through for a behind. Bassett there. Just feeling a little bit weary. It was a brave attempt.
Trianides is taking this kick in for St Kilda. Probably just adapting to circumstances, but that's a good kick in, I think. No, well, the idea was right. The target was Elliott, who was on his own, but Costa just got there, and it was a great effort. Kicks it into the pocket. Good spoil in the end from Wakeland. Just got it away from Welsh. Brown. Ryan. The foot pass had to be better than that. It wasn't. McLeod initial fumble, but not the second time. Not sure about that kick either. Elliott. Benke measured it pretty well. And another behind conceded.
Tim Elliott on 2 occasions there. The kick out, he caught it right. The kick out from Trianides was pretty good. You've got to attack the football. You can't stand there and wait for the football. Kim Costa read the ball beautifully, but you've got to run at the ball and try and make an attempt to mark it.
25-point ball game. Wakeland still virtually in the back pocket. Still time for the Saints. Just over 6 minutes. They need a quick goal. Smart. Clean hands on centre wing.
Not enough run in their play, though, is there, really, to see them getting home?
To centre-half forward, Perry, a dangerous player. And a very exciting one. Well, all of a sudden, things are starting to happen for the Crows. They lost their first 5 games, belted Hawthorn. Great comeback last week over Port Adelaide. Has lifted the confidence. And this young man playing his first game for the year has booted 3 goals, just a couple of games last year, so he's only playing his 6th game of his career.
Tim Elliott there, KB, should have punched the ball. He tried to mark it from behind. He's made 3 blues in the last minute, which is very costly for St Kilda. You've got to punch the ball. You've got to be harder at the ball.
Perry from 45 metres out. He's pushed it left. 3 goals, 3 to Ian Perry.
Well, Trianides, again with the kicking in on us, goes short. Oh, no. Went to Hayes, and look, the option wasn't great in the first place. And the disposal was pretty ordinary. Elliott off the ground, Carr coming on. I don't know where this leaves Tim Watson.
I'll tell you what, hello, I'm KB. You've coached before, KB. It means next week, the whole week, you just do schoolwork until you just get sick of it. That's what's cost them today, the school level. And plus, Adelaide's been very good. Don't worry about that as well.
So Barty has had 11 touches. He's kicked 3 goals, 2 this afternoon. Well, another behind. Gee, I tell you what, if Adelaide were to have lost this match, their kicking a goal would be the main reason. 12-23 to 10-8. Just under 5 minutes. They've gone back to Peckett to kick in, and he's gone to try and eat his. Well, they're just trying things that they're clearly, at this stage, not capable of executing. Now, I know it's a confidence thing, but anyway. Rashudo. Hayes, was that out of bounds? No. Wren, got crows everywhere. One of them was in the pocket.
It was a terrific kick, wasn't it, the Vardy?
Wastes no time. Perry's going to have another. Oh, he dropped the plum pud. An absolute sinner. And he plays on and gets the handball away. And the Saints will get out of trouble, at least just for the moment. Noel presented himself, but he was outnumbered. Benke, who I like the look of. Hart, who's been outstanding today in that last line. Kept last week's 6th goalkeeper, Heatley, down to 2. Rothbrun's had plenty of the footy, 22 touches in fact. He's taken 7 marks and kicked 1 goal 1. Bickley's had 18 possessions, taken 4 marks and kicked 1 goal 1. And Bassett, who's been great out of defence, takes his 6th mark and kicks a goal to break the drought. Well, it took a full back to kick the goal, Dougie.
Well, Anthony, what do you say about St Kilda? Unbelievable. Since half time, Adelaide have kicked 6 goals, 15 behind since half time. So there you go. What do you say about the Saints? I mean, their skill levels ain't up to it. You're at the elite level of the AFL. You've got to be a lot better than today's performance. A lot of hard work in front of them.
Crows by 33 points. Poor kicking, 13-23 to 10-8. Perry's booted 3 goals. Vardy's got 3. And Everett also 3 for the Saints. We go into attack. Goodwin got a bad bounce. Burke got a beauty. Again, it's a poor kick. Too much carry on the ball for Spider, who's in front of Marsh. Now it's a tough contest. Kicked off the ground by Hart.
Inside 50 KB in this quarter. St Kilda 7, Adelaide 18.
Well, the figures tell the story.
No doubt.
Marsh and Spider. To do battle. Well read by McLeod. Just tumbles the ball. Taken away by Kane Johnson. Been a very important play, and there's a very good grab taken by Stewie Lowe, who started at centre-half back. He's battled pretty bravely today. He's taken 7 marks. He's had 15 possessions and kicked a goal. Kicks a big ball, looking for Spider. There was 3 against 1. Freddie Campbell trying to weave a little bit of magic. Ball thumped forward to Beckley, to the run of McLeod. The mind is really ticking over. Kicks it to space. Here comes Wren. He's on 50. Going to get around Sierakowski. Goes to the knees. Welsh keeps the ball alive. A check side kick. Vardy looks dangerous. Pulled off the ball. And finally over the line for a boundary throw-in. Just over 2 minutes left.
Well, Adelaide can laugh about it. Peter Vardy, 3 goals 3, has been one of the culprits, I guess, in front of goal. That has certainly given them something. Stuart Lowe, Dryanedes, Burke, Lowe, Wakeland, Burke, Brown. 2 minutes remaining for the Saints. And the Crows. And so still St Kilda will be winless after 8 rounds of football. Just the 1 draw against the West Coast Eagles. Everett will get to this contest just, but Rothbrun takes another mark. And that's mark number 8. McLeod into Cantor now, isn't it? Good one. It's just like training. Smart. Oh, I think he outsmarted himself then, Nigel. McLeod goes searching, and Sean Wren is the answer. He's going to pass it. No, he can't. So the umpire has to come back. Sean Wren's game this afternoon, 5 kicks, 4 handballs, 4 marks, 2 tackles and 2 behinds.
You know, that isn't a real big game, Hutto. Sean Wren to his standards. So it's good signs for Adelaide with the big fella not really dominating the game, which he certainly has done in the past.
Still really recovering, and it's a slow process back, it seems, from his knee problems. It's a wobbly old kick. We probably haven't paid enough attention to the wind this afternoon, which has obviously affected both teams in their kicking at goal. It'll be interesting to hear after the game what the players have to say about that, about the effect of the wind, because it's probably the first time here at Colonial that we've had a match that's actually been affected by the wind. You're shaking your head, KB, are you?
Well, I don't know whether you can blame some of the kicking that we've seen today on the wind. I mean, it's not as if it's blowing a gale.
See that?
You might be poor at executing.
Well, it is blowing
execution, but
it's a very windy day outside. It doesn't look like it out at this stadium, but it is a very
Look at this. Bassett pumps it long. Welsh is going to kick a goal. He's got 2. It's an enclosed stadium, and the stadium goes all around here at Colonial. I wouldn't think the wind at ground level would have a great deal of effect. I wouldn't be blaming the wind. I'd be blaming the players just for their lack of skill in finding a target, and probably just as important, just making very poor decisions.
Ozzy, what do you reckon down there?
Well, I suppose we'd really need to ask the players about that. But from where I sit, it does feel very blowy. But I don't know. I just feel St Kilda's decision-making's been very poor all day long.
Don't be too easy on the players, Ozzy. Have a look at the day. The sun is shining. We're in a beautiful stadium. You haven't got any mud on the ground. The ground is absolutely magnificent. You're full-time professional footballer, and you can't kick it 25 metres. You want to blame the wind. Tony Brown pumps the ball long. Getting back, Big Marsh. He's got it in front of Spider.
Well, I succeeded in cricket.
What with KB?
How soft are we getting in football these days?
You can't find a target from 20 metres.
Can we shut the roof in case we get a spot of rain?
I'm with you, KB. You little beauty. 750 games between both of us. We know a bit about it.
Well, there's 750 between all 3 of us.
Siren sounds. Big win for the Crows. They've won 3 on the trot. A disappointed Tim Watson. Saints yet to win a game, just that one drawn game against the West Coast Eagles. They were brave today, but they were simply outclassed by the Adelaide Crows. 14-24 to 10-8.
Yes, Stuart Lowe again. I guess showing all how St Kilda feel, just frustration and not knowing what to do next.
I'll tell you what, Hutto, if they'd kicked straight Adelaide, they win by probably 15 goals. I mean, here we are, they've had 38 scoring shots to only 18. They've had 20 more scoring shots.
Richard Osborne's out the middle.
Well, Mark, a bit of a struggle, but a good win in the end for the boys.
Yeah, we were good at the ball, we're hard at the ball today, but we just couldn't use it for some reason. It's pretty swirly out here in the stadium, but yeah, we just couldn't use the ball well at all.
We discussed that all day, the wind. Was it a factor today with the school level?
Yeah, it was quite funny. We trained here yesterday and it wasn't too bad, but I suppose with the pretty gusty winds outside, it was really swirly, and I think both sides found it hard to use the ball.
Second win in a row, obviously the team is starting to build some momentum. That's good for the season ahead.
Yeah, it's actually the 3rd in a row now, so we're starting to get back a bit of ground from the shocking start we had, and hopefully we can keep going now.
All right, mate, thanks for your time. Good boy.
Thanks, Ozzy. And Mark Prosciutto, outstanding last week and pretty good today. Just a good, consistent effort, really, by the Crows, all through their lines. When you look at the stats, Dougie, of the Mitsubishi Motors stats sheet, there's Peter Everett.
Yeah, big sprite. He was pretty reasonable today. I mean, he played up forward, went into ruck. I mean, he kicked 3 goals and certainly tried his best. Jason Heatley probably didn't get the ball delivered as well as he would like, particularly early in the game where he only kicked the 2 goals. But outside of that, they really had no real forward. It was very damaging down there. I mean, that's the key to the St Kilda side, and as we've touched on many times, their use of the football today and their decision-making, I think, was terrible. It may have been windy out there, but you've got to find your targets. Maybe 20 metres, maybe 50 metres.
they had momentum in the last quarter. Freddie Campbell had the ball here on 50. They trailed by 8 points at that stage. He went short. I think he looked for Peter Everett from memory instead of going long to the square, or even kick a goal himself, or Heatley it was. Yeah. He'd already just kicked a nice goal, Freddie Campbell. If they kicked that goal, they're within 2 points. They've kicked 2 goals in a row. The momentum would have been there, and who knows what the final result would have been. But it was symptomatic of St Kilda today that every time they looked like they were going to threaten, they'd make a mistake.
So the Adelaide Crows, no emotion really shown by Gary Ayres as he came down this time compared to last week. A totally different scenario, of course. And the Adelaide Crows going off 14 goals, 24, 108 to 10-8, 68.
And some good signs, I think, yep, Anthony, for the Adelaide Crows. Perry today, his first game, he booted 3 goals. Rhett Bigland's just in his 4th game. Looks like he's a player of immense talent and a great future. Gallagher, we know, is a fine young player. Norwich Rising Star nomination last year. His first game today came on and added a bit of pace. Stingland looks like he's got ability. We know Big Marsh is coming back from a couple of knee reconstructions, so they've got a bit of size around the ground and a couple of young players who look like they've got a bit of speed as well. So, you know, all of a sudden they lost that first 5 games. They've shown a lot of heart and a lot of confidence in themselves to come back to win 3 on the trot. And I think there is a nice little nucleus there of players. And Darren Jarman didn't play well today, just 5 possessions. So imagine how much better they're going to be.
So the Crows triumphing here today at Colonial Stadium. Gary Ayres, I think, not overly over the moon with that performance. Neither Darren Jarman. They have a bit of a chuckle and a laugh. Adelaide 14-24 defeated St Kilda 10-8 at Colonial. I'm back to Colonial and the Adelaide Crows getting home in the end. 14-24, 108 to 10-8, 68. We have a look at the goal kickers, and there was a lot of point kickers as well, but the goal kickers, Perry and Vardy kicked 3, Welsh and Rashudo 2, the multiples, and Everett and Heatley for the Saints. Well, let's go down to the victorious Adelaide Crows room, and Gary Ayres is down with Richard Osborne.
For Ayres, they say that a week's a long time in football. The last 3 weeks have been very good for the club. 3 wins in a row. You must be very pleased.
Yeah, I thought today, Richard, was a real danger game for us because of the fact that we came off that good win last week. But, you know, to the boys' credit, except for probably the inaccuracy, I thought they persisted and worked pretty hard. And I think our endeavour the last 3 weeks and our work rate has been certainly 2 of the chief contributors to why we're going okay in the last 3 weeks. But, you know, we've still got a long, long way to go because I thought the basic fundamentals of the game today, it probably would have been a reasonably hard game to watch, I think.
And Ian Perry down forward with 3 goals. He looks like a good young prospect.
Yeah, well, Ian deserved his chance. He's probably put together about a good month of footy in the SANFL, and that goal that he got deep in the pocket from a reasonable distance out, I thought in the last quarter was just one that we really needed just to give us a bit of a boost, and then it really sort of just put St Kilda out of the contest there. So, you know, it was encouraging, but he knows he's got a lot of work to do to hold his spot on a regular basis.
Gary, you talked about the inaccuracy. What do you put it down to? Just one of those things, and or perhaps the wind?
Yeah, it was a bit blustery, Anthony, I think, and also, too, the fact that we hadn't been here before, and it does take you a little bit of getting used to. And I think the other thing was that I noticed last night at training, we certainly were reasonably inaccurate in our skill drill for the goals. So, but both sides were a bit like that, and I thought the general field kicking at times, it almost looked like the ball was a bit flat.
And Izzy, I haven't seen much of the Crows this year, but today there's some very good young talent in your side, which I saw today.
Yeah, I think that's true, Doug, and certainly guys like Tyson Stingline and James Byrne and young David Gallagher I thought was pretty good in that last quarter. Benny Marsh in the ruck, so we're trying to obviously get that core of players coming through, and, you know, some of the older heads I thought too were certainly pretty solid down back, and, you know, young Rhett Bigland's in the ruck had a big job on Everett today, but when you consider we probably didn't get as much out of a Darren Jarman today, and, you know, maybe a Scotty Welsh in the forward line, and Sean Wren sort of contributed late in the game, I still think there's some good signs.
And I reckon, Gary, the hardness of the ball was just starting to come back for the Crows. I thought the boys were very hard at the ball today.
Yeah, it's been something that we've worked on a lot in the last 3 weeks because I didn't feel we were as good in that area as we should have been. And certainly I think if you can do that, you really do put the opposition under a bit of pressure. And to their credit, they did that and didn't really let St Kilda get in at any stage.
Gary, how hard was it personally, I suppose, when you got to the stage where you hadn't had a win and we were a little bit into the season? I know obviously 3 weeks makes a big difference and you were just able to ride that out and get back on the winning list.
Oh, you're always very positive about what you're doing, and the guys have been very positive. And really, we've played, 8 now, and we had one bad game, which was against West Coast. And in the other games, we had our chances and we just didn't take them. And probably now we're taking the chances through a lot of hard work.
And Angie, how's the pressure been in Adelaide, mate, particularly, say, 3 weeks ago, mate? You've been under the pump a fair bit?
Oh, look, I must admit the general supporters around the footy club have been pretty positive because I think they could possibly see what we're trying to do, and I'm really rapt that they're now getting a little bit of reward. So, no, look, I'm a survivor and things are going okay.
Give us an update on Sean Wren and his progress. I was over in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago and he probably played his best game against Hawthorn, but still looks like he's got a little way to go, but he's certainly showing encouraging signs. Well,
the good thing is now that he's had 3 full games, and I think with every game he'll get a little bit better, and look, certainly to come back from 3 knee reconstructions is an enormous feat. So, and I'm just playing him at centre-half forward there to give him the game time, and he does the ruck work in the forward line, which I think gives us some advantage, and we've really just got to make sure that he gets as much game time as he can.
Well, Gary, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Gary Ayres, the coach of the Crows, after a win today. And he'd be pretty relieved to get away with a win. It's obviously pretty tough coming up against the St Kilda side who hadn't won a match.
No doubt, Hutto, about that. And St Kilda have been under the pump. And as I said at the start of the game, here's some of the highlights here from the game this afternoon. Here's Bickley, just hard at the ball, Bickley. He's like that all the time. We've seen Vardy, if he'd kicked straight, probably could have kicked 5 or 6 goals. I think he kicked 3 goals, 4, and was a very dangerous player. Good hands by Lenny Hayes. Didn't have a real impact on the game. Still only a young player, but certainly has the potential to be that type of player.
Well, really, they didn't have much system, did they, St Kilda, when they kicked their goals? And as we talked about, they had a chance early in the last quarter. But here's a pretty good goal from Lowe to get over to Everett. But again, that was a sign that there wasn't much system, and they just really rushed it forward. This was probably one of their best goals of the day, wasn't it?
You're right. That was the one, Hutto. It was a good kick by Andrew Thompson. But the one, I think it was in the last quarter where Matthew Young came down from the centre-half back, kicked the ball 60 metres to Stuart Lowe. That was what it was all about. I mean, instead of mucking around trying to do short kicks and handball over the place, here's Rashudo talking about kicking the ball long. Mark Rashudo didn't have a real big impact on the game. I thought Stephen Silla did a fairly good job in the first half on him. But there we are. There's Bassett coming out from full back, kicking a goal. So really, at the end of the day, it was a bit of a walk in the park for the Adelaide Crows. But this bloke tried his guts out, Nathan Burke, as he always does, and I thought he was brilliant today again.
The turnover's very costly, and Bassett, who kicked a goal we saw and set up another one there at the end, and Scotty Welsh putting it through for a goal. We go through to the Mitsubishi Motors match stats, and although fairly even, I suppose, in possessions as far as handballs are concerned, the kicks showed that Adelaide had a fair bit more of the ball.
Yeah, no doubt there, Hutto, and 166 kicks for the St Kilda side, a lot more turnovers there. Turnovers 25 to St Kilda, 27 to Adelaide. The marks department, Adelaide dominated there, 81 to 54, a lot probably inside 50 in their forward line, and going inside 50, Adelaide 67 to St Kilda 48.
And that, I guess, was the difference in the end of the day. The team stats, well, Nathan Burke, as you mentioned, 28 possessions, and really not a great deal else. Zilla, Knowles showed a bit, and Stuart Lowe tried pretty hard.
Tried to get a bit of footy, but did turn it over a fair bit too. But I thought Kane Johnson in the second quarter did a fairly good job on Burke, but outside that second quarter, I thought Burke was absolutely fantastic for the St Kilda side, as he always has been.
So I wonder where to go for the Saints.
Well, mate, I just said before, they've really got to work very hard on their skill level, particularly this week. Here's the Adelaide Crows. McLeod was brilliant off the half-back flank. Started fairly slowly, but once he got onto his game, 31 touches, uses the ball beautifully too, and just a class act, and had 4 marks. And the good thing about McLeod, he tackles hard too, and had 5 tackles. And Robert, I thought, was outstanding today.
Well, Dougie, what did you go for with your votes today? Your 3, 2 and 1?
Well, I gave 1 to Nathan Burke. I thought he was fantastic. He had 15 kicks, 13 handballs and 2 marks, and went inside 55 times. I gave 2 to Andrew McLeod off the half-back flank. As I said, Hutto started fairly slowly, but worked his way into the game and just uses the ball beautifully. And I reckon the man to set the game up over the 4 quarters was Matthew Robin, our centre-half back. And the ability about Robin was to run down the ground, and he does kick the ball long. 3 to Robin, 2 to McLeod, and 1 to Burke.
So, the Adelaide Crows, their 3rd win. They got home by 40 points. We'll take a break and come back to Colonial. 24-108 to 10-8, 68, winning by 40 points.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Less than a game outside the 8 at the moment, although plenty of the round still to go. Essendon on top, unbeaten. And speaking of the round still to go tonight, the West Coast Eagles take on the Western Bullies. What do you think, Dougie?
Gee, I'd like to see the Doggies win this one. It's going to be a big job from going over to... we saw them last week, I know, West Coast. They're pretty ordinary, but I think over there, for me, I'm going for West Coast.
Port and Melbourne?
Over there in Footy Park, I'm going to go for Port Adelaide.
Carlton will be strong favourites to beat Sydney, and likewise the Cats to beat Richmond.
Yeah, Sydney, good record at Optus Oval, but for me, Carlton play very well there, and I think Geelong may be on a bit of a roll, may beat Richmond.
And the Brisbane Lions against Essendon, can they break?
No, they won't. Essendon will keep winning and will go undefeated for the whole year.
And Collingwood should win at home. That match now starting 7 p.m. Melbourne time on Monday night, and it's not free.
No, it's not for free. I'm going for the Maggies against the Dockers.
Okay, well, we've had a big day today at Colonial Stadium, particularly if you're an Adelaide fan. The Crows getting home by 40 points. Good evening.
Fortnight will find out just how far they have come. We'll talk about the game with Robert Walls and Dwayne Russell, the best man on the ground. Matthew Robin has stayed over. Matty, thanks for that. Thanks, Gareth. We will find out exactly where they're at the next couple of weeks, mate. A couple of big games, aren't they?
It is a huge fortnight coming up for us. I think we've been better the last couple of weeks. We're steadily improving, but we're playing probably the benchmark of the competition over the last couple of years in the next couple of weeks, so it's a big fortnight for us.
Matthew, what were your thoughts of Colonial Stadium? First time you've played there?
Certainly enjoyed it, Robert. I mean, with a win certainly helps. I think with a full stadium would be a terrific atmosphere to play footy there, and yeah, I think they've done very, very well with the stadium. And
I think you're going to have to come back to Hawthorn, mate, if you want to play in front of a full stadium. The Crows are going to pack it out.
I don't think we will, but we had tremendous support there yesterday, and it was very encouraging for us.
It was terrific, your support. I thought there was as much support for the Crows as there was for St Kilda. 3 wins on the trot, and your own form terrific at centre-half back.
I've certainly enjoyed the change, playing in the back line now. I feel it's perhaps not as physically demanding as what centre-half forward is. You haven't constantly got 3 or 4 blokes jumping against you, and it takes you a little bit more creative from the back line as well. It gives you an opportunity to run a little bit more and deliver the ball up to the guys in the forward line.
And you were marking a bit like your father used to. You were taking some great grabs. He was a brilliant aerial player, and Rhett Bigland is starting to take some good marks for you as well.
Rhett has been very, very good the last couple of weeks, Dwayne. He's a very athletic type, 6'4", and very, very quick off the mark as well, and has a very good spring. So I think just showed his athleticism there. It's a terrific catch, and he's been a good find for us, and it releases, say, your Ren to the forward line to hopefully pose a bit of problems up there.
His athleticism was the thing that struck us as much as anything, wasn't it, Wolsey? I mean, he had Spider Everett with his tongue out a bit, didn't he?
He was really mobile as a ruckman, and Spider's pretty mobile, but this big fella, he's only played a handful of games. He covered the ground, he ran out to the wings, he was as quick as a ruck rover, and you can see the size of him. He is a big, strong young fellow, and well, you seem to be blessed with them, Matthew. You've got Ren and Marsh and Matthew Clark, of course.
Yes, it was something we struggled with last year. We had a lot of our tools injured for the majority of the season, so to have the luxury of Ren and Marsh, the big ones all fit and firing, and Matthew Clark hopefully will return this week, it's a bonus for us.
Port Adelaide must be happy. He was on their list. They gave him away. They need big men. In fact, Port Adelaide would be real happy. They had Andrew McLeod as an SANFL player as well, and he's playing brilliant football for us.
Yeah, the guys have been tremendously good, and I'm sure Rhett wants to prove his point to the people that perhaps didn't believe he was capable of playing footy at that level, and obviously Andrew McLeod has been a tremendous player the last few years for us.
He's a genius, isn't he, Walter?
Oh, he's terrific. Gary, where would you play McLeod? Half-back, midfield or half-forward?
Oh, I think each and every one of those positions, Rob. I mean, you look at this vision, he's playing half-back here. You just can't afford to give him that amount of space. He's too good. You've got to almost play him as a defender. Some half-forward has to. But look, we saw in the last quarter, they took him back to the goal square, and straight away Gary Ayres threw him into the middle of the ground. So, yeah, they're not going to let him play like that out of the action for too long. But look at this. I mean, he just plays him on a break at the moment, makes a mistake. This was late in the game, of course, it was shot, but he's going half rack power there and making him look a bit silly.
Yeah, he's a terrific player. Mark Prosciutto, I thought it was interesting. He was tagged pretty well in the midfield by Zilla, and then good coaching by Gary Ayres. He pushed him up to full forward and became a real target for you.
Yeah, well, I think obviously Mark's game last week was probably one of the best I've seen from a midfielder in a long time. But the good thing with Mark is that he's a very versatile player. I mean, he perhaps wasn't getting as much of the ball in the midfield, and then he's a very strong leader up forward, and he can actually be a very good focal point leading out of the goal scorer, and he proved that yesterday with a couple of good grabs in the third quarter.
Well, it just makes it hard because Zilla really couldn't go with him when he went to full forward. It just means you've got to get a different type of player, a key defender type player to go with him.
Yeah, Mark's he's very quick, he's very strong as well, so it's perhaps difficult to match up on him with, say, a general person who's tagging. So to stick him one-on-one in the goal square was a very good move, and it paid dividends in the end.
Right, any redeeming qualities in the St Kilda team at all?
Not a lot. Unfortunately, they're playing some bad football at the moment. In fact, it was a bit like watching some of the Fitzroy games of old. That's how bad it was to watch about a decade ago.
With all due respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Fitzroy, what are you talking about?
Well, they were coached a bit better, Fitzroy. But, well, what can Watson do as a coach next? I mean, he's taken them, they've had crisis meetings, he's taken them to the country, to Neil Roberts' farm. They've sat around a campfire and sang songs.
The dawn service?
The dawn service. They've had car rallies. I mean, has he taken them to the Melbourne Aquarium? Because they are 1-6 club at the moment.
I reckon what he's got to do, Dwayne, is work out who is fair income and who wants to play, and even if they haven't got as much talent as someone who's not fair income, you play that person. So at least the St Kilda supporters know that the 22 who go out are going to play and give their heart, because I'm not sure too many of those St Kilda players bleed after a loss like that.
One thing the Adelaide Crows players do is chase when you haven't got the ball, and that's an intrinsic part of playing good football, isn't it?
Certainly, whether it's forward, whether it's back, whether it's in the midfield, if you've got the guys keeping the pressure up on your opponents, occasionally it'll make them cough it up. So I thought the last couple of weeks we've been very, very good at that. I mean, Kim Cross, that was a sensational tackle there. Yeah, it just shows that we're working very, very hard when we haven't got the footy.
It's a good sign. I always reckon it's a good sign when you can see someone get chased down from behind, and you wonder about the talk and the communication in the other team, because obviously they're down, they're flat, and that's one of the things that goes out the window first of all.
The saddest part about the Saints though yesterday was that they had the yips when they were kicking from defence. None of the players really wanted to kick in. From every time Adelaide got it behind, you had to close your eyes and put your head in your hands and wonder where the ball was going to go, and it happened time and time and time again. They simply coughed the ball up. It was like Christmas to you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an area we've been concentrating on the last couple of weeks, and that's certainly the pressure from the forwards in the zone area, and certainly I thought the last couple of weeks we've been exceptional at it, and yesterday we were very, very good at applying pressure to their back players as they were kicking out.
In the end, you hope the Crows didn't kick it behind, because it was embarrassing watching, Peckett kick in and try and Eadies, and they've just got to be better than that, Dwayne, like AFL level, and that's when the supporters pack up and go home.
And unfortunately yesterday, we watched it so many times. I mean, some clubs wouldn't have this many bad kickings in a whole year, but this is just from yesterday. It was like Groundhog Day. It just happened over and over and over again, and you wondered when it was going to end.
Yeah, no, it was disappointing. Look, I think they obviously got a lot of work to do, and we'll probably need to move on, because I'm starting to feel a little freezing to all that again. Matthew stayed over. I hope you did enough to squeeze me into the votes.
I made sure that I did, Gary. I gave 7 votes to Andrew McLeod, 7 to Matthew, who's just fantastic at centre-half back. Nathan Burke played his heart out for the Saints as usual. And Nathan Bassett at full-back, very impressed with his performance.
Very well done, Matthew. Thanks for joining us. We will watch with interest the next couple of weeks to see how far the Crows are from. Thanks, mate. And boys, I'm not sure whether the game warranted the 2 big games for a minute, but I appreciate your time anyway. After the break, David Rees-Jones will apologise to Brian Wilson, and the bloke who should apologise to an entire generation, Mel Brown, the top goal the Eagles held on against the Bulldogs last night, and Gavin Brown's wandered into the studio to talk about the upcoming games.
Classic back.